You're watching Suck Professor. Hello, everybody. It's me, Hank. I'm joined by...
James,
the best agent I've ever met. Hello, James.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to our show here, everybody. Episode 4 of Twin Peaks: The Return, Season 3, starring David Lynch's loud voice. I'm into it, James.
Yep.
I gotta say, I'm really starting to love this show.
I don't believe you.
I'm completely lying. I'm being sarcastic.
I do love this show.
I don't hate it. I have mixed emotions. I'm intrigued by it. I feel like I'm watching a child draw. And every once in a while he makes something cool. But a lot of times I'm just like, why am I here? When the fuck are his parents going to pick him up? Will he grow out of this bullshit?
So you're saying that it's kind of like the glass box, in that you're standing back and you're just waiting for something interesting to happen.
A little bit, yeah.
Waiting to see something that's worth seeing.
Right. Yes. However, I'm trying to be open-minded, and I like that there's this mystery. I like that there's characters that have competing interests. I think the whole dual Agent Cooper thing is pretty cool, and I even kind of like that he's an empty shell, and sort of they don't know how to refill it, or eventually I think he'll discover his old self somehow, or they're going to help him. There's interesting things going on, but I just find the pacing and the momentum to be excruciating, and I realize it's all on purpose. It's a stylistic choice. It's David Lynch, but this is definitely the kind of show that's going to either you're going to like it or you're going to hate it.
Yep.
And I'm not yet ready to make a verdict for myself about hating it, nor am I trying to upset anybody who does like it. This is not a judgment on anybody else's opinion. This is only my share about my feelings.
Okay. And I've got a proposal too.
All right, hit me.
A lot of people.
Wait, let me turn up my head detector. Your hearing, I mean.
Here, the thing that we couldn't identify on Cole's uniform,
Yeah.
even though it was pretty obvious.
What, James?
But I have been trying hard to get caught up in the show. I don't like getting things wrong, and I understand that some people have been upset because we've gotten factual, parts of the show wrong. And I agree.
Background factual.
There's not a lot of excuse for that, considering how much time we had to rewatch the original series, because we knew this was coming a long way away. So
Plenty of excuse for that.
So.
It's just a reaction show.
So I'm going to hold myself to a higher standard, which means that if anyone catches me saying something that's factually incorrect, I'm not talking about a possible theory or something like that, let me know in the comments, and by the time we shoot the next episode, I'll aggregate all those together, randomize it through a program, and give a gift card to someone from Amazon for $25. I'm going to do it.
You're a kook.
I'm going to do it.
You've had one sip of beer and you're already making crazy promises? Nope. What's wrong with you?
I'm holding myself to a higher standard.
That's outrageous.
No, it's not.
That's absolutely bonkers.
If I'm saying something that is stupid and someone has to hear it, then they should at least get something out of it.
Well, okay. Oh, God, this is not a good way to start.
Sure it is.
No, I mean, what you're saying, we got to get to this episode we're trying to review. It's great to talk about it, but that's nonsense.
No.
It's crazy.
Nope.
Because who's the judge? What's the evidence? What's the threshold for whether or not you got it right or not? I mean...
Factual things, not...
Factual? It's a fucking fiction!
No, things that happened prior in the show. Like, we didn't get Philip Jeffries right that one episode.
Yeah, because you didn't know who he was.
But I do now, and that's what I'm working on.
Right, but how can you be held to know something that you should have known that was not introduced in this series?
Because you're supposed to watch everything before the series.
That's not... I disagree with that.
Oh, my God.
I think it's fine to have watched everything before the series and have the background information in your head and stuff, but I don't think you need to pay some stranger money. You're going to randomize the people calling you out on it?
Well, people who...
So but you got to understand...
We should probably get to the thing.
You just incentivized every nitpicking, crazy, over-the-top thing to come after you.
That's the whole point of this for me. I want to have an open dialogue with the people watching this to figure out, have a discussion about what's going on, what's right, what's wrong, what your theories are.
Yeah, but
that's what I like.
Your open dialogue doesn't have to involve you ponying up money. That's what I'm saying. It's great that you want to do that with the money. I mean, you could do like a giveaway or maybe like a promotional.
Yeah, we're probably going to lose people if we don't start.
Well, I didn't. It's fine. I mean, all right. Let's do it. Let's see how that goes. Maybe it'll be fun. James, you're like the David Lynch of giving shit away.
Yes. One thing I should mention though, you didn't get a screenshot of this, but
all right.
Every episode opens up with a logo saying Rancho Rosa Productions.
Oh, it does? Yeah.
And it's got electricity crackling around it, which is really important in the context of the show because entities from the lodge, from the waiting room, are kind of established to be very electrical based.
Aha, but what if someone comes by and says, no, they're not electrical, they're electron based?
Well, that's not a thing.
I know. I'm saying the nitpickiness can make this whole venture.
I'm talking factual, established things.
Fair enough.
But we know in Fire Walk with Me when there's at the trailer park, looking up at the electrical lines going above overhead. Agent
Yeah.
Cooper returning to the real world through an electrical outlet.
Yep.
The constant sounds of electricity going around. That is an indisputable thing.
The electricity tree.
Yes, of course, absolutely. The evolution of the arm.
What someone really, I thought, acutely, if that's the right word, astutely pointed out might be representative of like a nerve. Like
A neuron or a nerve. Yeah, absolutely.
Dendrites and axons.
We do know that the arm, because if you look back in the original series, Michael J. Anderson, who are you familiar with him?
No.
He's the very short man who has that degenerative bone disease type thing where his bones are really brittle, so he doesn't grow very tall, but he was Samson in Carnival.
Okay. No, I have no idea what that is.
But he does say, he says, I am the arm, and I sound like this. And he goes,
Uh-huh.
and now the evolution of the arm, he says, I am the arm, and I sound like this, and makes a very different sound.
Okay.
But it kind of shows you that that particular actor did not come back for the series. He and Lynch had a falling out.
The guy missing an arm?
No,
he's
that's,
back.
that's
yeah,
Mike.
Yeah, he's back to it.
The little person. He does
yeah.
not, he did not come back to the series because he had a falling out with David Lynch after his last project with him. So instead of bringing they needed to bring his character back, but they made him a brain neuron tree.
Yeah, I think we talked about that before. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Okay, so there we go. There's Linda Palmer.
Laura. People are not going to be happy about that.
Oh no, I just had to give away $25 because I used the wrong word. It's
That's
outrageous.
the fun. That's the
What's
fun,
fun about it?
It's fun for me.
How many times are you gonna give away money? Once?
No, yeah, one.
Okay, one. All right, good. Because if
I'd go bankrupt if I did it more than once.
exactly, it's crazy.
I'd die.
I wish I'm gonna go create some false accounts. I need.
No, what I said was I'll randomize it. I'll pick false.
Yeah, you do it like a giveaway, like
Yes.
a randomized giveaway. All right, fair enough. All right, so pay attention, everybody. You could make yourself rich
We
off
should
this
probably
shit.
put a link to where the actual discussion begins.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, at the beginning of things. Yeah, this
It's
is
like
a
a
mess.
long time.
Well,
to get
also,
into.
by the way, everybody, think of this as like a podcast and a discussion. We go on for a long time. We don't want to. We're dumb. We suck at YouTube, and it gets out of control. We don't, and we have 600 something or 575 screenshots to get to. So
and back to that Rancho Rosa thing. Where
right.
did you see that before, aside from the crackling logo?
episode 1 through 3.
Oh, it was the name on the sign at the housing development complex where Dougie was first seen with a prostitute or accountant,
okay.
I think, Jade.
Yeah, the kind of abandoned housing bubble
Yes.
complex where all the homes were for sale and stuff, foreclosed. All right. Well, good call there. All right. Wow, man, the stakes all of a sudden feel really high here. Okay, so there's a rug, curtains.
Rug.
We open up in Las Vegas. There it is. The beautiful city that America loves, the Silver Mustang Casino. I'm assuming this is a made-up casino, yeah, obviously.
I don't know.
Pretty
I
sure
didn't
that.
Google
Is
it.
there
I don't
a
know.
Silver Mustang?
I've never actually been to Vegas, so I couldn't tell you.
You don't have a fact? Oh my God, James, you're in trouble.
About the show.
I'll back off. I won't pick on you for every single moment. It's nice, and it's actually really lovely. I think I admire your.
You should give away $100 when you get something wrong.
I'll give away several hours of editing. How about that? Fucking animation takes forever.
Okay.
Thousands of hours of editing. All right, so the dudes at the casino are standing by aghast. They don't know what's going on, but they're having a bad day. This is always a bad moment in a casino manager's life when some dude wins 3 jackpots in a row. Well, guess what? It's way more than 3. We do this little montage of Agent Cooper, the shell of Agent Cooper, going, hello.
Yeah. I think he is. I kind of reversed my stance on that. I think he is all there, but he's been in this acid trip for the past 25 years, so he's slowly trying to reconfigure his mind.
It's not that he needs the golden bead, the golden BB to be put back into him.
That's I mean, that's a theory. I mean, that's possible. I don't know.
Right. Well, so I mean, that's the thing with consciousness. We can't necessarily define it as a distinct entity, meaning like maybe he needs to have inputs added, or maybe he needs to have obstructions removed.
Yep.
But both could have the same result of him becoming the guy he was, because you can't have this mope wander around.
No.
This I just want to use kind words, but he needs help.
Well,
This guy can't. He can.
The Cooper that we know and love from the original 2 seasons was an incredibly witty, incredibly sharp,
Handsome.
very, very entertaining character.
Okay.
And it's entertaining to see him like this, but not for much longer. I don't think I can take this many more episodes. I want Cooper back.
I don't think it'll be too much longer. I mean, the way David Lynch goes, I expect him to be like this for like 600 more episodes, probably. Not much longer. So, all right, 29 mega jackpots. This old lady's really buddied up to him. You think more people would be like kind of following him around?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're hitting 30 jackpots, that's going to create a scene.
And we know that one thing in his current state is that he can only mimic actions that he witnesses or mimic things that he hears.
Yeah.
So right now, the woman calls him Mr. Jackpot. So he will return to that phrase after a while.
Yes, yeah, he'll pick up on that.
And the big question is, why is the lodge showing him the location of winners? What is it trying to do?
It's a good question. Maybe it wants him to have the money.
Does it want him to have the money, or does it want him to be singled out, to be recognized, so that he can be pushed forward on a narrative that the lodge needs him to be? And I don't really know.
I mean, there's lots of ways to single someone out. You can make him fall down. You can make him go into the women's bathroom and take his pants off.
But I do think it is about the money, and we'll find out a little bit later about.
I believe it's about. It seems to be about the money. They definitely make an issue about the money in the whole thing. So anyway. The old lady asks, which one is it? She points, this one. He does a lot of these 8-8 ones, I noticed. 888. 8, the number, has some sort of like lucky importance in Asian cultures. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, there's a whole thing. I remember even the dollars, they had the serial number, American dollars had a serial number with lots of 8s in them. They like held them outside and auctioned them off or sold them for like more money than a dollar. And for various Asian cultures. I know I sound ignorant, but it's an Asian thing. So anyway.
One other thing that's kind of interesting is that, remember I was telling you that weird sound in the phonograph was actually the sound of a lever being pulled?
Yeah.
And what's another name for a slot machine?
A fucking good time?
A one-armed bandit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Who, Mike has one arm.
Yeah, he does.
Parallel? Coincidence?
Would you say he's a bandit?
Oh, probably not.
Yeah, the evolution of the arm?
Yeah. I don't know.
Different arms of the FBI?
Just a little aside, you know.
Yeah, we have the right
could mean nothing, could mean something.
The right to bear arms. Lever cranks machine beeping, by the way. That's what it sounds like when I jerk off. All right, so everybody, she wins. And now they're just watching going, oh, God. He's even, adjusting his little neck thing. Thank you, Mr. Jackpots. Thank you. Oh, you're so nice. And then guess who comes by? The fat guy from American History X.
Bill Shaker from Allied Chemicals.
Allied Chemicals. This guy's been in a lot of stuff. I've seen him. He's in a bunch of shit. He's actually lost quite a lot of weight from that American History X role that he played. He takes out the black jelly bean and throws it. It was just like, really? One out of the whole thing was white jelly beans? That scene just didn't. It just took me out of the movie. American History X. Check out our reviews, everybody. We don't have any. So anyway, he's sort of like just a businessman. He's got a wife or girlfriend.
Yeah,
or
this
hooker.
is the guy who knew Dougie from Dougie's life as Cooper for the past 25 years, shared some experiences with him, and recognized him.
Yeah, Vegas Dougie. And so, of course, this takes a lot of back and forth. Oh, Dougie, I'm Bill Shaker. You're Dougie. And, he's like, oh.
Yeah, and he touches him on the chest and says, you're Dougie Jones. And that's something else that gets imprinted on Cooper. Right,
that's where he gets his knowledge. It does take a bite of the hot dog, which I appreciated. Any good time, you're going to have a good time. You go to Vegas. You wear a suit. You get a hot babe. You buy a drink. She's looking great. You're all dressed up. What do you need? The only thing missing? A hot dog. Mm-hmm. Walk around the casino with a hot dog. Take a bite whenever you feel like having a little boost, a little pick-me-up.
Would have actually bite the hot babe.
Well, that's later. All right. So she, they're just sort of concerned about him because he's acting a little bit touched.
Yeah, and
he's needs a little
picking
help.
up on certain words that they're saying, and the first word that he picked up on was home.
Yep.
So that could have some serious significance later on.
Yeah, right, for sure. Yeah, but the red door is important too. He says that he has the red door.
Yeah. Bill Shaker is actually a happy coincidence because Bill Shaker knows him and knows where he lives, and he tells him he lives on Lancelot Court, the House with the Red Door near Merlin's Market. So there's clearly this King Arthur theme going on in this area.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's definitely right. And also he saves the casino. The casino sort of he sends him off on another pathway, and the casino guys must be very relieved. I was thinking, and I know you're right, but like. A dude gets 30 jackpots, never not winning 30 times in a row, although with the old lady, she's in there doing 2 or 3 or whatever. They're gonna stop you. Well, I know they can't stop you, but it's a fucking casino. They're gonna find a way to stop you.
Well, what they do
because
is they watch you.
Yes.
They have various cameras. They have various people standing around at the blackjack tables and certain places.
My pants are Jim. Sorry.
Oh, they have people watching, observing to see if someone is trying to play the system.
Yes, and that's how they detect cheaters is when people win at rates that aren't mathematically accepted or accepted statistically.
But in watching him, there's nothing to see but him pulling the handle.
I know.
So there's no cheating to be
detected.
But
there's nothing to see, but there's a lot to suspect.
Oh, yeah,
because it's not statistically. I guess it is possible to win a few jackpots in a row. They go into this. But what do you mean they go into this? They barely get. Not really.
Absolutely, they do.
Well, let's get to the point where you think that happens.
So he tries to leave because he's oblivious to the fact that he won a lot of stuff. Yeah. He's just kind of existing.
He's not even collecting any quarters. Mm-hmm. That's the best part, man. Haven't you held a lot of quarters? It feels heavy. Like when you cash in your jar of coins, it feels good. You're like, oh, this is heavy. Yeah, so the casino boss manager guy, whatever, paying out the
His
thing.
name is Supervisor Burns.
Supervisor Burns, nephew of C. Montgomery Burns. He comes in, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, so what are you doing? Where do you live? What's going on here?"
Well, he offers him free drinks, a free meal, companionship, a room, and he says, "Think of us as a home away from home."
Yeah.
And the fact that he uses the word home kind of triggers Cooper again, which kind of, you can see it resonates with him to a degree.
Yes, right. Lancelot Court. He goes, "Lancelot Court cab ride." He kind of recognizes the word home, and it makes him say that. So yeah, Dougie. Okay, he doesn't. But they're not trying to ask him how he did it. They're not asking him any questions. They're just saying, "We're gonna kiss your ass a little bit."
You may have missed something right here, though.
What?
Because he pushes the money across to Cooper, and Cooper sees him push the money towards him, so Cooper mimics what he did. He grabs the bag and pushes it back towards him.
Right there.
Then he begins to rise up, and Cooper begins to rise up.
Yeah, I noticed that they did that.
And he leans in further into his face, and Cooper leans in further to his face.
Yeah.
And he takes that as some sort of confrontation. He says, "Promise me one thing, that you'll come back sometime, any day or any night, and try your luck again, Mr. Jones."
I didn't take it that way at all.
Were you watching?
Yes, I didn't think it was a confrontational moment. I thought it was one of those, he's just trying to feel him out. The mirroring was very clear. It's obvious. I didn't miss that at all. I just thought that just added to the weirdness of it. He didn't say the line the way you just recited it.
The way he said Mr. Jones, it was just dripping with sarcasm.
You'll come
and
back
hatred.
and try with your luck. He wants them to bring the money back and lose. That's the way casinos operate. They
Right,
want,
but how he
they want you to
says
win.
Mr.
They want you to
Jones.
spend your winnings back in their money because they know that you'll eventually lose.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this episode 3 times, and you're looking at your phone during the scene. I know what I'm talking about.
No, I disagree. I don't think it was as confrontational as you're saying. The guy has right to be upset about this whole exchange, but I just don't think I don't think it had the same tone that you.
You should rewatch it again and just pay attention to the last word.
James, I've been stressed out since I was a baby.
The way his mouth
I'm very
moves.
good at. Yeah, I hear you. I get it. I just disagree that it was that confrontational. What do you guys think in the comments? Let us know. Is James wrong or is he really wrong? All right, here we go. It's okay. It's a lot.
I will pour beer on you.
Pour beer on me. Pour it in my shirt pocket, and I'll save it for later. It's okay to have small differences. No big deal. I still love you. Don't worry. I'll walk you down the aisle. I don't know what that means. All right. So camera. Boom, boom.
So
size.
this one's kind of important.
We're watching you.
Yeah, he hears a mechanical whirring sound, him being Cooper, and looks upward and stares at the camera.
Right.
And the Supervisor Burns interprets that as though he is, being made aware that he's being watched, but I don't think that's at all what Cooper's doing. We've seen Cooper do this before when he was in the lodge speaking to Cera Palmer. He looks up at the ceiling.
Laura Palmer?
I said Cera. Cera's the mother.
You just lost $1,000.
No, it got fixed, though, in the episode, so no.
Wait,
Laura Palmer.
Okay.
Laura Palmer, he's in the lodge. She looks up at the sky. He looks up at the sky, at the ceiling, as though there's something there to see. She screams and gets sucked upwards.
Yeah.
So I think throughout the episode, there's a couple of times where he just looks upward, and I think there's bigger meaning to that than what they lead us on to believe.
It could be. It could be. Or he just, he's tuned into electricity somehow, and there's a kind of electrical thing happening.
Yeah, that's
above
why
him.
I think he's looking upwards, because he's hearing that particular spark. Maybe he's seeing something from the lodge that this guy can't see. It's kind of open for speculation.
Yeah, it could be. So anyway, he gets his bag of money. I like this nice new clean bag, though. A new bag is always nice. He gets a limo for him. You don't know your address, sir? Red door. That's all he has to be able to say. I do like, he's like, it's hard to see the colors at night. It's kind of funny. But, no response. Just have basically a slightly functioning invalid who just took a casino for 30 jackpots, minus the old lady's take. And they do eventually find the red door, and he gets out of the car. I like this they call it a cab driver. This limo driver, doing good. This guy seems like a nice man. He's sort of helpful. I mean, most limo drivers do that. But he's like, I'll just wait with you, buddy. All right. Well,
You didn't
make a move.
Notice what the number is in the house?
25, 14, 10, 0.
And what was the number that the evolution of the arm gave? Was it 253?
Yes.
2514, 4 minus 1 is 3, 253. I'm full of crap.
Yeah, that sounds like a bunch of hooey. Well, there's the 15. If you rearrange the 51, you get 15. If you subtract 2 from 4, you get 2. If you add 1, you get 3. And there was that 3 on top of the thing. And there's also 420, remember?
Yep.
Or no, 430. If you subtract 1 from 5, you get 4. If you subtract 2 from 3, you get 1. If you add 1 to 4, you get 5. If you subtract 2,
we
you
did
get
get a
3.
good correction on the numbers things before in one of the comments where we were looking at the 315. First, the electrical outlet that Cooper escapes through says 15, then it says 3.
Yes.
So 315 was the room number of the Great Northern Hotel where you were staying.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Or
Didn't I call
hotel.
that out?
Did you? Oh,
Yeah,
you may have.
I think I did.
I know some of the comments did because we were. I think maybe we skipped over it or something.
I remember thinking that.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds like bullshit if I'm wrong if I didn't say it out loud. So I probably sound like an asshole if I didn't say it out loud. But I do remember being like, "Oh yeah, that's the thing. I thought I said so." Anyway, whatever. All right, so the guy, he just stands there and has no idea what to do. He has no clue. The poor limo driver, he just wants to go home and get crawl in bed next to his wife and or husband. But no, what do we see though? A hooting owl. There it goes, James.
Yeah, they both look overhead and they see the owl.
Yes. What?
And this series, owls are pretty important.
Right.
Because there is a scene from, I can't remember, I think it was season 2. It was after Cooper got shot and he was recuperating in his hotel room in the Great Northern Hotel, where Major Briggs visits him in his room, and he said, the room 315, by the way, and says he has a message for Cooper. And he says that something about, as part of his classified business, he intercepts radio signals from space, from deep space. And he got back a series of gibberish. But in the middle of the gibberish, there was a phrase that was perfectly spelled out that said, "The owls are not what they seem."
Okay.
And then a couple pages later, it was a bunch of gibberish. In the middle, it was Cooper, 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 Cooper.
Okay. That was from season 2?
I think it was season 2. So there's no coincidence that Cooper is looking upwards and there's an owl flying overhead. The owls have always been this like harbinger of the supernatural.
Or do they represent like that he's being watched? This is like a sentry,
Well,
or
it could be
like
because
a spy.
I mean, that's a good point because you're looking upward at a camera. What does the camera look like? It's a dome of blackness looking back at him,
Which is what an owl's heart looks like.
Or the night sky is like a darkness that you're looking into. It could be a symbolic thing where he's looking upwards, realizing he's being watched, and then at night he looks upward and realizes that the lodge is still watching him.
I just wish the owl puked up an owl pelt and like a little mouse skeleton landed on his head. All right, so yeah, well, owls. Okay, damn, those things spook me. And then all of a sudden, we have a famous woman, Naomi Watts.
Naomi Watts,
right? I didn't recognize her. I recognized her. Couldn't recall her name until the credits at the very end. But there she is, and she's his wife. Dougie's got a wife. We're learning more about this fellow. He's not just banging hookers. He's got a whole little house in a nice little suburban community here. He was a guest at the Silver Mustang. He tells her how he's got her home, and she's all pissed off. She's just upset. He hasn't been home for 3 days. He missed Sonny Jim's birthday party.
Which is a weird name for their child.
Very weird name. You know how people call their children Sonny Jim? You know what I'm saying there? Sonny James?
Yeah.
Daughter Sally?
Her name, did you pick up what her name was?
It was Janie with a Y?
Janie E. Janie-E.
Yeah, some kooky, yeah.
Bizarre.
Right. Yeah, again, this show is like watching a child draw.
Yeah, so it's like she says, you don't show up for work and you miss Sonny Jim's birthday. How could you?
Right. So she brings him in. I assume the birthday was today, it seems, because all the decorations are still up. And they really went for it, boy. This is real love when your parents tape balloons to the blinds. Or at least maybe just on the ground or something over there. But yeah, so great set decoration. And she's like, oh, got a haircut? What's up with the suit? What the hell's going on? She's all pissed, and then she looks in his bag, sees the money, and has a little bit of a change of heart because it sounds like they have some debts that's been dragging them down.
This part is pretty important because she says right here, did you get this at the Silver Mustang? We know that he lives a $6 to $8 cab ride away from the Silver Mustang. The first thing she says is, did you go to the Silver Mustang? Which implies to me that he has a history of gambling, he's a history of being loose with money, that he's caused the family problems. Because as soon as she realizes, after he tells her that he is Mr. Jackpots, because he hears the word jackpot right there.
Yeah.
She says, you won this, maybe now we can pay them back. There's enough here to pay them back. So that implies something else important, that the men that we saw staked outside of the housing complex with Jade, who had a gun pointed with intent to kill him, were probably not, as I originally thought, hired by Philip Jeffries, probably not connected to Mr. C, probably not, working for agents of the lodge.
Yeah.
They're probably just working for a guy that he owes money to.
Random goons related to a localized debt.
A less supernatural
which is something I theorized might be true. Yeah. So, all right, cool. I'm already winning. Great. Just joking. You know the show way better than I do, and I appreciate that. This is the most. So she's like, oh, like this is me when I get like an extra egg roll or something. I'm like, I feel a sense of relief, like my future's not going to be so bad. Everything's going to finally work out.
It does seem like a great burden is lifted off of her because this is apparently something that has been hanging over them for quite a while.
And usually a giant bag of money tends to help out.
Yeah.
I know that
money can't buy happiness, but it can.
It can solve a lot of stressful problems if you have debts. And no, money cannot buy happiness. However, it can buy a bunch of fucking drugs. And also just buy happiness. It can buy happiness. Let's be honest. Actually, the research shows that after $75,000 of income, happiness is no longer affected. But up to under 75, and it's negatively impacted because you have more stresses and you can't take vacations. You can't afford to save anything for retirement generally. But the sweet spot seems to be 75K, which is nice because I've made about 75K my entire life, maybe a little more. But, okay, so horrible. So she's like, okay.
Oh, she said, this is the most wonderful, horrible day of my life.
Yeah, wonderful, horrible day of her life. So she had a long, stressful day. This guy's been a real piece of shit husband. First of all, Dougie, who we say was a good guy. Remember, we said he's like the embodiment of goodness?
Not so much. I mean...
He's cheating on his wife. That's not cool, you know? I didn't know he was married. That wasn't obvious in episode 3. So we could pull back that assessment.
This episode kind of proved to me that my assessment of Dougie being the embodiment of good, a vessel used to house the decent side of Cooper, I don't subscribe to that theory anymore.
Not a bad theory, though. I think there's something to him and Bobbleganger, Darth Coop, Mr. C being necessary to be combined, you know, like in Vietnam, where they're like, "Hey, when there's a baby shoe, and when we reunite these two shoes, we will be friends again." And then the guy flies off on a helicopter.
Sure.
Yeah, baby shoe. Okay, all right. So she's gonna get him Sonny Jim's chocolate cake. So glad you're home. Oh my God, so good. So
and then he repeats the line, "Home."
Home. Yeah.
So what is home really?
Well, he's drawn to home. I don't think he knows. But so do you think this is the money in the casino, like the lodge floor? I know it's not the lodge, the waiting room or whatever, the intermediary.
It could be like his path home. Is that symbolic for his return to himself, or his reclamation of his identity?
Well, it could be that. Yeah. I was referring to we said earlier that the money obviously comes back, and this is why that thing wanted him to win the jackpot.
Yeah, it kind of fit into the plot that was needed.
Yeah. Right, like he needed the cash. But yeah, who knows home? I mean, I don't know enough about his previous home life before in the first two events.
And it almost seems like everything is stacked up to work in his favor, because every time he needs to say something in a response to move himself forward in the story, it's told to him immediately before.
Yeah.
Like, you're Dougie Jones. Yeah. I'm Dougie Jones.
Somebody comes by and gives
Mr.
him
Jackpots.
Right.
Yeah.
Fortuitous.
Where do you live? Lancelot Court. Red door.
I still think it's rude that guy didn't let him have a bite of his hot dog.
Yeah.
It's just good friendship. If you have a hot dog in your hand and you don't offer me a bite, you're a piece of fucking shit. And I don't even want to use my hand. You put it in my mouth.
Yeah. His best friend is named Bill Mover.
Bill Shaker. And Movers.
You picked up on that
Movers
horrible joke. Very good.
I totally got the joke.
Mover and a shaker.
Horrible jokes. That's what I do, man. Come on. All right. So then we've got, where is she? I'm not going to shout the whole time. It's bad for the audio here. But our Robert Lynch. David Lynch.
Agent.
Now, I'm going to piss off a couple people. Horrible actor. Fucking terrible.
He's not trying to be...
I know. He wrote himself a part where he doesn't have to act. It's a nice little device, literally and figuratively, to make your character deaf so that you don't have to do any acting. And that sounds like an insult to deaf people. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, all you got to do is scream out your lines, and voila, that's all you need to do. But it fits with the rest of the acting in the show, so it's actually fine. And if anything, if I ever got to meet the guy, I'd probably be thrilled, and I'm sure he could fucking smack me over the head with his incredible he has more talent in one pinky toe shaving. Who shaves their toe?
Your YouTube channel sucks.
Yeah, he has plenty of reason to diss me, so I'm in no place. Although I am a pretty fucking good actor, I gotta say. Anybody who's ever seen my rendition of Shakespeare in Love, amazing. All right, yes, yeah, okay. Oh, but no, so they're just reminiscing about some old shit with Paul. Do you need to say anything about Paul?
Nah.
All right, good. So they sit down. He's in someone's office. He's waiting for a meeting, and this was sort of a shock.
You shouldn't say shock because this character is in the original series. Original seasons.
Of course I should say shock. I haven't seen the original seasons.
Shh, don't let them know.
What are you talking about? I haven't seen shit. I don't, and I don't give a fuck. Those two, these are my reactions to what we're watching.
We've just lost everybody.
We're very different. Yeah, we're not the Encyclopedia Britannica here. We're sharing our viewpoints and opinions.
So this is David Duchovny, who plays character Denise Bryson.
Is it David Duchovny in the previous one, or is it Dennis?
Well, it's Dennis who then becomes Denise.
Yeah, but it's David Duchovny in the previous one.
When you
does he play Dennis?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. I didn't know if it was the same actor. That's all.
Oh yeah.
So David Duchovny comes out as a woman named Denise. When, if it was anybody, not anybody, but he's a famous guy. We're all familiar with his
He was famous
face.
at the time too. Originally.
Was X-Files out before Twin Peaks in the early 90s?
I don't know. I want to say it was around the same time. I could be wrong.
It's hard to know. Could have been right around the same time. So yeah, it's tough to say. But David Duchovny is such a recognizable guy, so seeing him dressed up as a woman is just funny. I mean, it is. And so anyway,
so you've insulted deaf people, transgender
I'm
people.
not insulting them. It's David Duchovny.
You're insulting David Duchovny?
Yes,
so
I'm insulting
worse.
David Duchovny people. All right.
David Duchovny people of the Duchovny tribe.
Yeah, the Duchovnys. Come on. It's just not. It was not. It was just not expected. All right. So South Dakota, Denise. So he's talking about Cooper. They've located Cooper.
This is a huge moment though, because when he first got the call in his office with the big atomic bomb behind the desk, and said that they've got Cooper, I immediately assumed that it was the authorities from the casino calling them to let them know that this man was potentially cheating, that they have him in custody, and they've ID'd him as Agent Dale Cooper.
Right.
But no, that's not what happened. What actually happened was, this is Bobbleganger Mr. C, Evil Coop, who barfed to death in his car that we thought. Turns out he didn't really die. He did not get sucked back into the lodge the same way that Dougie did.
Yeah.
And now he's being held in federal prison in South Dakota.
Because they showed the car crash, and they never showed him inside the car after the crash. So you assumed he disappeared or something.
Right. They didn't reference that it was a man in there. The guy passed out almost, gagging from the smell of the vomit, and said there's something bad in that car.
Yeah.
They didn't show him, and they didn't reference him. And now I see that was probably intentional.
Yeah.
So whatever plan that Evil Cooper had going on to prevent himself from being sucked back into the lodge, it obviously had something to do with Dougie, and Dougie basically being the whipping boy to get sucked back into the lodge instead of Coop.
Seems to be that case. Yeah. Also, good technique for if a cop ever pulls you over, just barf all over yourself before he walks up, or she, and then when they get to the door with the window open, they will pass out from the smell.
And always eat a lot of Garmin Bozia before you do that.
Now that's what we call creamed corn.
Well, that's what people who hallucinate or have visions of it interpret it as, but it's a substance of pain and sorrow that humans can't see the true form of.
But on film, it looks like creamed corn.
On film, it looks like creamed
and
corn.
other chunky, nasty stuff. It looks like something your cat would barf up and then look at you and stare you at the face and be like, "All right, pick it up, bitch."
And I think at one point Mike actually refers to it as corn.
Yeah.
Because he drives up where Laura Palmer and Leland are in the car in a convertible, and he kind of comes up to the side and screams, "You took all the corn!" And this was in Firewalk with Me.
Okay. Oh, in Firewalk. And you watched that.
Yes. And whoever told me that I needed to watch that in order to understand the show, thank you, because you were completely right.
All right. There you go. Cool. Just tell James he's got to do stuff, everybody. Tell James he's got to make my bed and wash my back and help me sort out my socks and my underwear. But please. All right.
Make your back and wash your bed.
Yeah, make my back. Just braid it. Just braid it. I want it. Yeah, creamed corn. I could go for a tall, cold glass of creamed corn right now. I'm pretty hungry. All right, you're talking Agent Preston with you. So that's the woman.
Yes.
And
this whole scene almost implies to me that there's some sort of attraction tension between Denise and Cole. That Denise is attracted to Cole. Whether or not Cole is reciprocating that feeling, I don't quite know.
Okay. I read this differently. I read this as Cole is a pussy hound, and he's caused trouble within the department, as anybody who's ever been a boss knows. When your employees start banging each other, or especially when one of the men is a little randy, little taste for the thigh highs, it can lead to HR issues, and that need to be addressed by the upper management or the management.
Be a sense of jealousy in what Denise is saying, and Cole is saying is nothing like that. You know, I'm an old school. She's got the goods. She's got the stuff. She knows what she's doing. She's a good agent. That's why I'm taking her, not because she's a attractive, barely 30-year-old woman.
Right. Which I think this is David Lynch acknowledging his own penchant for attractive women.
I've heard that. I mean, especially watching his films, you know that he has a thing for that.
I don't blame him. I have a thing for attractive women. I get it. Come on. What would you rather look at, the Mona Lisa or Pamela Anderson? I think it's obvious. Carmen Electra. So yeah, and the wild thing sometimes. I just don't think that, I didn't sense that was a thing that she wants. That's the part of it. I just thought that since she's being a good boss, going like, hey, you just picking this girl because you're trying to get into her 30-year-old pants?
I think you may have missed something in this scene as well. And we'll get to it.
What, this?
No, a little bit later.
All right. Oh, well, there's more. Missed, or we haven't gotten to it yet. Is that what do you mean? Go back or go forward?
No, keep going forward.
Okay, go forward.
Press on.
I'll press on. These clown comics to fix it. What is it? Because
Well, he says that like when you first decided to transition from Dennis to Denise, I told your colleagues, those clown comics, to fix their hearts or die. Basically, don't give you grief for the life choice you've decided to make, because to be who you truly feel that you are.
Yeah, I helped you here because and
it's a very liberal thing to say. It's we
like that. We want to. I believe in supporting people's right to feel dignified and to have their voices heard. Yeah,
I think it's a great slogan. Fix your heart or die.
Fix your heart or die, bitch. And that does take that people to stand up, good people to stand up and say, hey, not cool, man. Knock it off. As my favorite philosopher, Dr. Martin Luther King said, the silence of the people if it's your silence is what's fucking it up. Bitches, all right. That's a direct quote, by the way.
Okay.
All right. So, yes, he says that was very kind of you. Thank you so much.
It looked like he was saying it directly to you 5 minutes ago.
What?
When you were making fun of the way David Duchovny looked.
Yeah, because it's David Duchovny. Not if it was any other actor, I'd be like, oh look, it's a transgender guy or whatever. James, I spent a whole night doing cameraman at the LGBT rally.
So that makes it okay. That makes it okay.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Totally. I have the rainbow lanyard to prove it.
I'm just
fuck face. Come on.
Screwing with you. Let's go.
Come on. Some of my favorite best friends are gay and straight. I don't even see gender. All right. Mrs. James.
You finally noticed.
Okay, cool. All right. So federal. This whole thing about saying it out loud, that was completely stupid and unnecessary.
Just a little bit of quirks.
Yeah, a little bit of quirks. We got. This is the show.
Here again, going to Tammy is so beautiful.
Yep.
And there's room in this federal investigation for more than one beautiful woman.
Yes, which is a compliment to Denise.
Yes. Right. Which Denise takes very well.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. So they have that, and the screaming hormones.
And
that's why it was weird.
He winces at that.
Why?
Almost as though he's an old school guy. He doesn't like to hear things that are somewhat of a private nature.
About lady parts and lady.
That's the impression that I got. And she realized that he's kind of old school. She says, "Oh, I'm sorry," and she backs off.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I just didn't understand what the hell was going on. That's a good theory.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I don't know.
Not a bad thought. I get it. I mean, whenever I hear the word estrogen, I cringe. Estrogen, oh no. Do you know that testosterone and estrogen are chemically identical and throughout all animals?
What?
Testosterone in a bird is exactly the same as testosterone.
I thought you said testosterone and estrogen are the same thing.
No. They're not the same. But testosterone...
The chemical compounds.
The chemical testosterone is identical, which is pretty interesting. So if you ever needed a testosterone boost,
I could just grab a squirrel and squeeze it out of him.
Squeeze a squirrel above your head like you're wringing out a rag. Just twist it.
That's how Lance Armstrong won all those.
Yes, because squirrels, as we know, are known for their testosterone.
Yeah. He kept a backpack of squirrels and just suck out their essence during the race.
He carried a squirrel in that little bottle holder that's on the frame of the bike. But anyway, it's whatever. Hormones. If that is the case, it's crazy to be upset about hearing the word hormone. By the way, how do you make a hooker cry?
Yeah, I know where that's going.
Wait,
that's not.
Don't pay her.
Then
I messed up the joke. How do you make a hormone is the joke. That's the all right. So speaking of old school.
Yes, that one was
all right, it's okay. We're all gonna be dead soon anyway. So I believe you're on the trail. So she says, "Okay, go do your job.
And she said, "Well, Albert rejoining you. Albert is kind of like your shadow. So like, is Albert gonna come? Do birds fly?"
Yeah, which is the same as saying, "Does the Pope put shit in the woods?"
Yes,
right.
Which of course he does.
Which of course he does. Or does mouse shit roll? Have you ever heard that one?
No, but
ask me something obvious. Is the sky blue?
Is Rosie O'Donnell active on Twitter?
Does mouse shit roll? I like that one a lot. Does Pope shit roll? Mm-hmm. Okay, so thank you, Bill. Off he goes. Door closes.
Oh, you missed it. So if you go back and forward, stop. At this scene, after the door closes and she knows that he's gone, she starts fanning herself in the face.
Yes, she does a little hand.
Which you typically do when someone that you find some attraction to has just been in your presence.
Is that a universal?
I think that's pretty universal.
That's okay.
What else could it mean?
That you're warm? That you're...
And you have become hot and bothered by the person that was near you?
Oh, I'm just verklempt by this...
David Lynch is the one writing this.
By this mostly deaf old man who screams constantly. Oh, I cannot...
So you're telling me I'm wrong?
My titty parts are just all asunder with arousal and interest and...
What do you think it meant then?
I think it was warm.
I think
it was like, oh, thank God this is over.
You're killing me.
I don't think it's attraction. I didn't read it as attraction.
I see. Wow.
I'm not paying anybody $25.
You didn't see that about the apparent confrontation between Burns and Cooper, and now you're not seeing this with Denise?
Yeah. Yes, I have a great eye, James. I have excellent taste.
Okay, we'll see.
I know what I'm talking about. It wasn't that. What do people think in the comments? We'll settle this once and for all. How wrong was James? Extremely or only a lot? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments. I don't think she's attracted to him. That's all I'm saying. That's not what that's about.
That whole conversation.
She's a manager.
Reeked of jealousy and attraction.
Not at all. She's a boss. She doesn't want him to go screwing the 30-year-old. Not that beautiful, attractive young woman would bang the 90-year-old deaf guy who screams. Not that being deaf makes you unattractive. I'm just saying sometimes women can be picky. Okay, trust me. I've tried to talk to them a few times in my life, and they usually pour beer on my head or vodka. I'm not picking up on that, James. I'm sorry. All right, just not saying it. And I was on Match.com before it was cool. Okay, fuckface. All right, here we go. Twin Peaks Sheriff's Department. Oh, this lady. Oh, God.
Lucy's awesome.
Come on. This is where I'm glad I didn't have a screwdriver near me. I would have pushed it through my eye and out the back of my head. So she's on the phone dealing with some thermostat thing, talking about this furnace, and it all comes down to her being confused about what's going on when we're not here. Is the thermostat still on? If I come in early, is it going to be still on? I came in and it's on. The heat's on. If I come in earlier, will the heat still be on? I realize they're just sort of, this is just within character. This is just her character, the way she is. And it's kind of, I guess, interesting a little bit that, like, she's like a baby, out of sight, out of mind.
You've gone a little, well, actually, if you go forward 2, or go back 2 or forward 2, I got a question for you.
Okay.
I'll go forward 2. That's a better shot.
There's a picture of who these are.
That's the picture. It is supposed to be her, Andy, and Michael's Cera. But it's a picture, and they've clearly cut the heads off other people and pasted them over top of an existing photograph.
Yeah.
It's not a bad Photoshop job. It's a bad cut and paste in real world job. And I wonder if that was just a stylistic choice, or if that was supposed to be something comical for the keen-eyed person.
Right. I think it'd be comical for the keen-eyed. I mean, you, James.
That's Michael Cera's head put on a child's body.
It does appear to be Michael Cera, yeah. And that's definitely the dude. It's like that thing in movies where if I ever get in a movie role and then like, oh, remember this is him in high school. They're gonna show pictures of me from high school and they go get your real pictures from high school. That's the thing they do. Like if the actors don't have if their parents didn't take a lot of pictures of them as kids, you have less options for making your film.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so in this one she's on the phone with Sheriff Truman. When I say Sheriff Truman, I don't mean Sheriff Harry Truman, it's Sheriff Frank Truman.
Yep.
And the reason for this is that the person who originally portrayed Sheriff Truman, Harry Truman, in the original 2 seasons, didn't elect to return for the 3rd season, so now they have another new actor in who's playing the brother of Harry Truman, Frank Truman. And in an earlier episode, we saw her, when we were first introduced to her, she was saying, well, which Truman do you want? There's 2 of them. One is ill and one's fishing. The one who's ill is Harry Truman from the prior series, and the one who's fishing is Frank Truman, who is now pictured on screen.
And I think his name is Robert Forrester.
Okay.
I believe that's his name. He was in Jackie Brown, came back, but also before that he had a whole long career playing like cop types and stuff. I mean, I could be wrong.
He fits the bill for that.
Yeah. Well, look at him. He's playing a cop. But like, yeah, he's kind of that guy. He's So
this is
he brings in the phone and he shows it to her.
And he's holding it up because this has happened before.
Because she was on the phone with him just now.
Yeah.
This has happened before?
Well, yeah, they say it's happened over and over and over again.
Oh.
Where he's on the cell phone. It's almost like her character was in hibernation for 25 years.
Yeah.
Where the concept of a cell phone is so alien to her that she cannot seem to reconcile the fact that she was just talking to him in what she perceived to be the mountains, and now he's standing right in front of her.
So she screams at the sight of him.
Yes.
Because...
chair goes back and she passes out.
As far as she knows, this is magic.
Yes.
She might as well be a native seeing a laser pointer for the first time. He goes, oh my God, Neosporin, oh my God. Disinfectant, I can't believe it. So yeah, she falls backwards in what was obviously some sort of edited way. I bet she fell slowly and they sped it up in a weird... Then you could even speed it up and then stretch the frames out a little bit too. So he's like, this crazy bitch. Jesus Christ. Fucking, it's just a phone. Come on. What the hell's the matter with you?
I mean, does this guy fit the bill for you for a rational character?
Yeah. He reads pretty smart.
Yeah, because in the last 2 seasons, the other Truman was kind of the moral barometer. I don't want to say moral, but the sane.
He had his head on straight, kind of
Yeah,
like from Our World.
Yeah, he was a guy that you could actually have a conversation with and not want to rip your hair out.
So far, the two people that seem somewhat normal are the him and Jade, the hooker, and maybe like the couple of the casino guys.
Yeah.
And the dude with the hot dog.
Yes.
But so anyway, Pookie, what's he call her? Plucky?
Punky.
Lucy, what's this guy's name? That's Tom?
Andy,
same thing. So yeah, he's like, okay, yeah, man, he's so she hates cellular phones as possible. She's confused. You're in the mountains. She just, it won't compute in her dim.
It just makes me wonder,
barely working head.
Is she supposed to just be kind of touched in the head more so than I remember her being, or is it something to do with her constantly being in Twin Peaks, her constantly being on the radio and the telephone, constantly being immersed in a sea of electricity, that somehow she has been deadened by the goings-ons of the lodge and all this kind of stuff over time?
Like radiation. Like she's worked.
She's
worked too close to the core for a little bit too long.
I consider that to be a huge stretch, but it's something to consider. Maybe
it's worth a thought. Yeah.
Because he says, I don't understand how this keeps happening over and over and over again. And David Lynch is very much so about time warps, about things of a cyclical nature.
Yeah.
So it could be that, she's being affected in some way by something as of yet unseen.
Yeah. Was she this dumb in the first
She was pretty dumb.
Okay.
But
so was he, by the
lovably
way.
dumb. They were both lovably stupid.
Yeah, totally. They're like, I'm not going to say what I'm thinking. But yeah, they're like two dogs that fall in love. And, Punky, there it is. I can't even know when it's
Okay, in this scene right here, to me, this seemed to be something that I had wanted to see for a while, because the whole time you see Twin Peaks, you see Lucy, you see Andy, you see Hawk, you see Truman.
Yeah.
You often don't see much more than that. And this kind of establishes that there are more people to the station. They have a communication center. They have a force back there. They have a forensic guy. They have stuff going on in the background that you don't usually see. Yeah.
This is the most important part of every police station. So yeah, but I hear you. It's like it builds out this little environment.
Yeah.
With background characters and with equipment.
And they may not be important. They may not be. You might not come back to them, but at least now there is more to this little backwoods police station than what you've seen.
Totally. By the way, James, did you know that Maggie is short for maggot? All right, so how are we doing tonight? Two D&Ds. They're playing Dungeons and Dragons, obviously, and a DUI. And this guy goes in the middle here. He goes, "Yeah, I worked on that one. Dude blew a 2.5. That's pretty high, James."
That's actually a 0.25.
2.5.
0.25.
0.25. 0.25 point. There's 2 points. No, I'm joking. You're right. 0.25.
2.5 would be probably death.
Yeah, 250% or whatever. Okay, so a boy OD'd at the high school. Oh no, a boy OD'd. Andy took the case. Little Denny Craig. Obviously the son of Jenny Craig.
I saw that coming.
Yep, for sure. What else is there? What am I going to say? Never got up from his dad. So the guy...
You could say son of Daniel Craig.
OD'd on alcohol. This kid got fucking drunk. Unless it's different. Or
No.
the OD is the... What's D&D stand for?
What... Two D&Ds... I don't know. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought.
Domestic disturbance?
So the OD is different than the
Yeah, that's a separate instance. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
He died of a drug overdose.
You can't OD on booze. It's just saying, if you're drinking at high school enough to die from it, someone's going to see you before you get to the point where you die.
Now, they do touch on that in the very next scene as to what happened to him.
Yeah, there's a little more about this. But at least it's not alcohol. The kid OD'd from some other drug. Okay, fine, fair enough. Where's Hawk? Gents?
Oh, and before we get any further, Hawk, did you catch the guy in the comments when you were asking what the guy's name was? You were reading his name bad, and you said T. Hawk Hill.
Oh.
His name is Tommy Hill.
Tommy Hill.
Hawk Hill. Tomahawk Hill.
Boy, that figures.
It's a little cliche.
Tommy Hill figure?
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's good.
Tommy Hawk Hill. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I was kind of zoning out when you
fair
said
enough.
that, so I didn't pick up on you asking that question, so I didn't say anything.
Well, I just didn't see the word 8, or I guess Hill has an H in it, but I didn't see Hawk, T. So, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Tommy Hill. Very good. Hawks love hills. So, okay, there the guy goes off.
And this is a huge reveal.
Yeah, Pete Sampras comes in.
Yeah, where this guy turns around, and I'm bad with faces, especially 25 years after, but as soon as this guy turned around, I was like, holy crap, it's Bobby.
Bobby. So we know him as...
Bobby was the goon from high school who always wore like the plaid shirt tied around his waist and the leather jacket and the blue jeans and thought he was, you know, he was the bad boy.
Yeah.
And he was Laura Palmer's boyfriend.
Ooh,
And he was borderline abusive to a point, very overly protective, controlling, overly emotional. He was just kind of a teenage mess.
Okay.
And in Fire Walk with Me, he actually does a drug deal in the woods with Laura Palmer present while they're both sniffing cocaine, and ends up shooting and killing a deputy from a surrounding county who was delivering the cocaine.
Wow. So this guy went from murdering a cop to becoming one.
Yeah, which is kind of weird, though, because now he's assigned to watching the drug trade between Canada and Twin Peaks. And he's got cameras set up along all the known trails where drug traffickers might have been coming through.
Yes, Chinese designer drugs again.
So all the people that would be monitoring drug trafficking, the one guy who committed murder while drug trafficking.
And murdered a cop. Like, they wouldn't let you become a cop.
He was kind of a seedy cop. And I remember correctly, the guy was seen at the beginning of Fire Walk with Me as being a really piece of crap cop. And then when he sees him again in the woods, he's not in his cop uniform, but it looks just like the same guy from the station. So I put two and together. It's like, that's got to be the cop.
Okay.
But we'll see.
And this is them ordering burritos.
Yes.
What do you want on your burrito? Elk, raccoon, squirrel?
Squirrels have so much testosterone. Did you know that?
Yeah, I do. I know. That's how Lance Armstrong won.
Yeah.
No, but it's about what he saw on his cameras that are guarding, that are monitoring the trails.
No, you didn't catch anybody.
No, I didn't see anybody. It was the trails we know about, right? I would have seen them. My back teeth. Oh, yeah, I got a pee so bad, my back teeth are floating.
We've got to build that wall with Canada. I mean, these drugs, these people, I assume some are good people, but, you know. We
got to keep them out, man. Those Canadians, they're coming here and taking our girlfriends and our comedy writing jobs. Motherfuckers. Fucking pieces of shit. Martin Short, he's Canadian. Michael Myers, Canadian. I hate him.
The killer. Is Steve Martin Canadian?
Probably. Should be. He's funny. No, I don't think he is.
Leslie Nielsen wasn't he?
Yeah, it could be. No, we love the Canadians. I love the Mexicans. Everybody loves everybody. We gotta quit fucking getting all in each other's business, man. Fucking stupid. I'm tired of it. James. How many more centuries are we gonna be just spreading hate, making life harder for everybody? It's bullshit.
That's why I built this wall between our rooms.
And that's why I voted for Hillary. This makes no sense.
I voted for
and that's why I voted to... You didn't vote?
No, I didn't vote.
Oh, then you can't complain, as we like to say.
I haven't been complaining. I've just been crying.
I know. Yeah, well, it's awful. I mean, the world gets worse no matter what. So, but it's like, why speed it up? What are we doing? Come on. So, all right. Speaking of getting worse... Look at his hair.
That's not a comb over. That's a comb forward.
That's a comb upwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I don't know what this he's doing there. It's just a good way to create drag, so you can get a little more exercise while you're walking. Yeah. So poor woman, she's so upset about seeing a man on a phone.
So he's kind of describing to her, like explaining again what the whole cell phone thing is about.
Yes. Moving and talking and driving, and he's, I don't understand. And he's like, oh, boo. So anyway, he gets up. He's like, all right, you lady, just sit there and process it with your DOS brain of yours and see what happens. So then this guy comes in. He seems like a fairly normal thinking person anyway.
That's Chad.
Yeah. I like Chad. So Hawk is filling him in. He's saying, the log lady, gave me a tip. And as you know, when a crazy old woman calls because her log is telling her secrets, we listen and we mobilize half the department to focus on what some nutty old bitch with a fucking log thinks is happening.
Too soon, one thing that Andy tells to Lucy in the prior scene is that you're so good at your job in every other way, I just don't get how this keeps happening over and over again. And Lucy says, I don't understand it either, Andy.
Yeah.
So that was what made me originally think that maybe there's something that actually is affecting her.
Okay.
Maybe all this quirkiness that we assumed was just a part of her character isn't really. And that maybe she'll be... Wouldn't it be weird if she got cured of it suddenly and she was like this intelligent scholar by the end of the season? Suddenly
she's like Einstein. Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, yeah, maybe they're setting that up. That's not a bad theory. Like she is sort of like victimized, and more like passively. Like I said, like I think radiation is a good example. Like you work, I didn't realize I was absorbing all this stuff that's fucking up my head.
So as you were saying, in the next scene, Hawk is talking to Truman and kind of filling him in on the events that transpired, saying that Margaret is kind of kooky, but she's been reliable, Margaret being the log lady. And I do have something to say about the log lady if we've got a few minutes.
Hit it.
Okay.
We got hours. Go.
Okay, so I was watching Fire Walk with Me because I hadn't seen it before, and it was a terrible crime not to have seen that.
Oh, come on.
And there was a scene that took place above a convenience store.
Mm-hmm.
and it seemed to be a congregation place for the demons or the entities from the lodge. The man from far away was there, sitting at a green formica table with an indentation in it. Clearly is where the owl ring came from. And Bob was sitting across from there. The Tremonds were sitting across the way, and there were 2 lumberjacks there, or woodsmen. Mm-hmm. And the thing about them is that we know from the log lady's past that her husband was a lumberjack, and that she says something like he met the devil and then was consumed by the flames and died in a fire.
Okay.
So can it be assumed that because this happened in Twin Peaks and because he was among the woods and he was the kind of a man of nature,
a lumberjack, yeah,
that maybe his spirit would have been sucked into the lodge? And maybe, because the lodge is technically in the Ghostwood Forest, that his spirit could inhabit the log. So that she's actually getting information from the log vis-a-vis from her husband, who resides in the convenience store upstairs. But there's 2 of them, which means that one could be the husband, one could be his doppelganger, maybe.
Oh, okay.
And the person that we saw in the cell 2 down from Bill Hastings, the kind of charred face guy, could have been a woodsman, could have been the evil entity that was inhabiting Bill Hastings to make him commit murders, or it could have been the husband, the woodsman, eavesdropping to get information and then leaving to go re-inhabit the body of the log to pass the information along to his estranged wife.
Did her tip have something to do with Bill Hastings?
Her tip, so far, all we know from her tip is that something is missing. It relates to Agent Dale Cooper.
Yeah.
And it has something to do with your heritage.
Okay.
So we don't quite know what the meaning behind her tip is yet.
Yeah.
But I am rampantly and wildly speculating.
That's fine. No, you're on, I think, a good logical path there. Like that there's a backstory to her husband being a lumberjack, and she's holds a log and talks to it. that actually makes more sense and hears things from it. And okay, and this world has, I'm not calling them spirits, but people inhabit different realms and different planes of existence, it seems. So okay, maybe there's something to that. That actually kind of doesn't sound like some of the bullshit. It sounds pretty good. I think it makes a lot of sense. Or it's just a crazy lady who is overwhelmed with grief because of the love of her life was taken from her, so she cradles a log in order to feel the slightest sense of relief until the mercy of death falls upon her frail old body, and the mailman finds her in about a week after her death.
She
being nibbled on by squirrels.
Too soon.
She's already dead?
Yes. Well, not the character, but the person who plays her.
Yeah, the person who plays her dead. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the character.
Too soon.
Too soon. More like too bark.
The squirrel's nibbling on her. That's how they get the testosterone.
Too spruce. I'm trying to think of a log. Yeah, squirrel testosterone. But and also the other one you said about the guy in the prison cell being maybe.
Yes.
That was interesting. I mean, that had no explanation.
I mean, you die in a fire. I mean, we would assume that you'd be charred of it.
Yeah. Charred? Were you making a joke being like tired of it? Charred?
Charred.
Oh, charred. Yeah, no, I knew what you said, but I thought you were trying to make a pun. I added the pun. I thought you said charred instead of tired being a pun. You'd be tired. My brain doesn't work well.
Huh?
I know.
What the hell?
What the hell? It's hard being me. Trust me. It's I can't fault. It's hard. It sucks. There's a lot going on in here, and it's most of it's shit. All right. So good theories though. I gotta give you that. I think everybody listening to this should give you $25 for what you just said about the old lady and her fucking burned up, charred, tired husband. All right. So that's what she said. We gotta trust the old lady. All right. Okay. So Sheriff Truman.
Andy walks in and says, "I'm here, Sheriff Truman." Or Lucy says that.
Well, Andy says it.
They both walk in.
I think. Yeah.
And Chad looks over at them as though he has complete disdain for them, because Chad seems to be, at least, he's a jerk, but he is a cop.
Yeah.
And he's looking over at these 2 rodeo clowns.
Clowns.
And is almost insulted that they're in the room with them.
Yeah, these are more like like the deformed calves that are born in the barn. Not the rodeo clowns are millions of light years ahead of these idiots.
I love them though.
Yeah, they're cute. They're cute.
But
what do you think they look like when they're banging?
Do not ruin this for me.
Oh, this is so good.
Stop it.
And she grabs onto his hair.
Stop.
She holds onto it like when you ride a bull.
No more. But she says,
look at his big long torso. Look how long his belly is.
Chad says that the log lady is banned from coming into the station.
I bet he's got cute man tits too.
Okay. And she says,
I think his nips are big or small.
I'm gonna kill you.
All right. Mine are pretty average size.
Yep. She says that's on account of some kind of gum.
Yeah.
The log lady has been established to basically sit back, chew gum, and spit it out and stick it to wherever it can stick.
Okay.
So she apparently was in the station trying to deliver some information, spitting gum everywhere, and they banned her from it for it.
Oh, I see. All right.
And Chad comes back saying, well, I'll chew on that, to make a pun of the gum thing.
Yeah.
As if to kind of dismiss anything they have to say.
Yeah. Kind of like, okay, fuck faces, I'll chew on your stupid gun. Sounds great. Sounds bubblicious. Double mint gum.
Yes.
All right. Pinocchio, I didn't know what this was. Is Pinocchio's friend?
I honestly do not, because he says that in
Somebody
reference
lying?
to what Andy says to him. He says that she gets messages from her log, and he says Pinocchio's friend.
Well, Pinocchio is wooden.
Pinocchio was made of wood, and he's
is-
saying that the log is Pinocchio's friend, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to do with that?
I think that was. I don't quite remember exactly. But yeah, it makes sense in the context of being made of wood, and it's got the stick and branches, and it's got a dildo that turns into wood, and it grows bigger. When
and every time he says that, Truman looks back and goes, that's enough, Chad.
Yeah.
Because he knows Chad's kind of being a jerk.
Kind of like, Chad, be nice to him.
Yeah.
It's like picking on kids that are special. It's like, don't do that. No. We don't make fun of disabled people. Unless, if you do that, we will elect you president.
But you do make fun of them if they're deaf.
I'm not making fun of anybody being deaf. You're really painting me into a corner here. All right.
Joking.
Okay. I've got enough hate. All right. So anyway, off he goes, and suddenly this moment.
Yeah.
So what's the guy's name?
Bobby. Bobby Briggs.
And he comes in. Her portrait is taped to a weird old piece of cardboard or something.
These are the old case files from the Laura Palmer murder.
Yes. So
because they're looking for what's missing based on the clue from Margaret.
Right.
Being the log lady.
Yes. And then he sees...
he has always been, throughout the first and second season, he's always been very overly emotional, and he has not changed at all.
I liked this part, actually. This part wasn't boring.
You should watch the first 2 seasons. I think you'd dig it.
Oh, God, no. No way. There's so much porn on the internet. I have much more I'd rather be watching. So, but I did kind of like that he just kind of went a little bit off the deep end with his emotions. Because, I mean, he just starts
You think he'd be over it by now, but no.
I mean, it's plausible if he hasn't seen her photo in many years, but like you would go like, ugh, and you'd like go to the bathroom and have a moment, or you'd go to your car, or you'd excuse yourself. Yeah. You wouldn't just let it rip.
But he was actually one of the first suspects for the murder.
Sure, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, I'm not against him having raw emotions. I have raw emotions. I cried the other day because I think I got a $500 speeding ticket and I couldn't take it because I'm very poor. I cried and I sat in my car until the tears went away so I could come in and see James. And James, I think you figured out that I was crying.
We could switch cars and then you couldn't speed.
Your car can't go fast enough.
My car is pretty much a glorified
I went to... Motherfucker wasn't going to turn left, man. He didn't even pull out. If you're fucking turning left, you pull up a little bit. Anyway, it was a stressful night. I've been having a hard year.
Was the guy... What was it with David Lynch in front of you? I like the idea of a left turn.
This'll make you cry, you little bitch.
But what does Chad say when he leaves the room? As a further mockery of the log lady.
I don't remember.
I've got to go have a word with my pine cone.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get a shot. Yeah, you know what it is?
You think if you got a shot of anything, it'd be that.
So, no, well, we have we're Chrome casting from a browser into the TV, and there's about a second-ish delay, which is enough to miss a thing. A second's not a short amount of time in that sense. Like, where I'll see something and hit the button, and then... Because you can see both screens... So if I really wanted to get it perfect, I should be watching it on the laptop. But anyway.
The reference is that, just for anyone who is not aware, you have an unnatural, unholy love for pine cones.
Oh, it's holy. It's real holy. I love pine cones. Check out my Instagram, link in the description. I have pine cones featured on there. They are awesome. They're fun. They're fun to hold. There is a risk you'll get a sticky hand.
You're going to put googly eyes all over your pine cones.
That's a risk I'm willing to take. Well, the other day I saw a pine cone on the ground, and it hadn't even been stepped on yet. And I just stood there and I stared at it, and I really wanted to pick it up, and then I just walked away.
That's probably for the best.
It felt like a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
really bad. All right, so anyway, pine cones. They're God's fidget spinners.
Yeah.
Okay?
So apparently, Bobby's getting emotional about all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
They start holding hands because they're resonating with his emotional reaction to seeing his old girlfriend.
You think there's any significance to being named Lantern Man? Is it like Lantern? Maybe her husband set a fire. He was a lantern man. Huh?
I don't know.
That's nonsense. It's bullshit.
Anything is possible with David Lynch.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's unfortunately true.
Okay, now this part is important.
Hit me.
Because about Bobby Briggs, his father was Major Briggs, who was
it Garland?
Yes, Major Garland Briggs.
Okay.
Good catch.
Yeah.
he was the disembodied head that we saw floating through space while Cooper was, looking out all over the ocean, or looking out over space.
After that woman launched off the...
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Not over the ocean. The ocean came, before that.
A little before that.
But when he said the words Blue Rose. And we know from the conversation between Mr. C, being Evil Cooper, and the entity on the other side of that radio/phone, who at first was assumed to be Philip Jeffries, but afterwards we're not entirely sure if that's who he was, says that you spoke to Major Garland Briggs. And Mr. C, Evil Cooper, said, how did you know that?
Yeah.
So he's going to say that Cooper visited his house, his mother told him this, and was the last person to talk to his father before he passed away. He died in a fire at the station the next day.
Okay. Ready to keep pushing?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
So this corroborates what we've already heard.
Oh, okay. All right. I see what you're getting at. Yeah. Is that General Briggs going to be important? I mean, he's a hovering head in space.
He was a pretty important character. He was the same one that told Agent Cooper back in the second season, the owls are not what they seem.
Okay.
He was the kind of guy who was always in uniform. He was always, very military-esque, always very proper.
By the book.
Yes, would always say if you try to ask him a question, his favorite go-to line was, that's classified.
Okay.
But he always had knowledge of otherworldly things going on in the past, or, in the previous seasons, that he would not reveal much information about.
All right. Okay, interesting. But now he's a floating head in space. He's
the person who portrayed him has since passed away, so they couldn't use him in this season.
Oh, you're right. They dug up his corpse and took a picture of his head. Yeah. Okay, so there he goes. Oh, they're holding hands. That's cute.
It's kind of funny. This guy who comes in just stands in the doorway like that for like 5 seconds before saying there's someone out there named Wally Brando.
Well, he can't just say a line. This is David Lynch. It'd be weird if he just walked in and said, hey, there's a guy out here named David Brando. I got to get back to work.
Yeah, it's almost like he's in there posing, waiting for an audience to applaud for him and then delivering his line.
Well, imagine being an actor cast on this show.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's all up to the actors. I'm sure it's a collaborative effort between the director, the auteur, and the actors. And so obviously they're going to be like, okay, stand there and make it weird and be all fucked up. Yeah. But it's a David Lynch set. I bet it's really weird on that.
Yeah, so one thing you might not be aware
of...
There's
ghosts wandering around.
Yeah, in the first 2 seasons, at some point, I think it's in the second season, I could be wrong about that, so I'm not going to say that that's definitively it, but Lucy becomes pregnant. And Lucy was with Andy and one other man. And there was this big kind of discrepancy as to who's the true father of the child. And eventually Lucy chooses to be with Andy and chooses for Andy to be the father in lieu of doing any sort of real testing.
Oh, really? So he might not even be the biological dad?
I don't know. Possibly.
All right.
But anyway, the child, this happened 25 years ago, so the child is now Wally, and he's approximately 24, 25 years old.
Right.
So and he is waiting outside.
He's waiting outside.
And we already know who it is because of that picture that was on the...
People know who he is. I didn't. I knew that this actor was in the show, but I was surprised when we saw him here because I wasn't expecting this guy.
Yeah, he's come to pay his respects to Sheriff Harry S. Truman,
yes,
who we find out is his godfather, which makes sense. Because he was very important to Lucy, and he says because he's ill, he wants to pay his respects, and we know he's not really ill because the character just didn't want to return for season 3.
Sure, but for the story,
for the sake of the story, he is
fair. Ill. Totally understand. I mean, that's the world we're marking on.
Yes.
Most of the time. Okay, so anyway, the woman gets all excited. Lucy gets like, oh my god.
Well, Andy gets equally excited.
Andy too. Yeah, they're
he has Truman's like, oh god.
There's still a few more tears in here. But to be fair, Laura Palmer, quite the babe.
You should watch Fire Walk with Me. She was not the puritanical girl you might think she was.
I didn't say puritanical. I said babe.
She goes topless quite a lot.
I went on a date once with a girl who was in Playboy. Did you know that? She was like a college thing, and I was like, well, she was way out of my league. I could not keep up the pretense that I was a bad boy. And eventually she grew tired of me.
Did you wear a leather jacket?
Yes.
And paint your head with Sharpie?
I did. I painted my head so she wouldn't know I was bald with the Sharpie, and I wore a shirt that was tight. I did 2 extra push-ups that week. No, but it was fun. Actually, we went out a couple times. Just fun.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we never...
She was Miss 1942.
No, she was 75 years old. I was driving her because she was hitchhiking and couldn't find her dentist. And it's all right, there he goes. And oh my god, he comes out. We hear it looks like a nice happy reunion. And who do we have?
Yeah.
Come on.
So here's the thing. I didn't read anything about the series before I watched it because I wanted to kind of take your approach and go in blind.
Which is proven to be a bad idea because you've been in a big hurry undoing that.
I'm trying to. Yeah. It was a poor choice. Let's say that. And
how dare you?
Yeah. And oh no, I didn't mean you make.
No, I understand.
But I didn't notice the picture the first time I watched it. And I watched this episode 3 times. So after knowing that he was there, I looked back at the picture, and that's when I saw it. But yeah, seeing him for the first time, I almost spit my beer across the room.
Yes.
It's just hilarious.
It's funny.
And this weird accent he's doing, almost like this, like almost as like a slurred lisp or something.
I think affect is the right word for that.
It might be.
Something's going on with his... Yeah, and he just has this slow pace. It's all... And this scene just takes forever. I mean, Michael Cera's not a bad actor.
No, he speaks very slow, very deliberately, while his parents stand on either side of him, showing him off like a prize turkey. Like, they're so impressed by him.
Well, who wouldn't be impressed by a black leather jacket with an offset zipper?
Does it even say Wally on it?
Yes, was that a monogram?
Yeah, well, a monogram would be like a one
initials?
letter, two letters, initials, 3 letters.
What do you call it when you put your name on something?
Insignia?
Yeah, maybe. There's a name for that. But, yeah, the hat, like he's dressed up like one of those heartthrobs from the 50s.
Yeah,
like,
and he is not.
Who's the fat guy from Island of Dr. Moreau? He was really hot.
Wally Brando.
Yeah, he was a super sexy man when he was younger.
Well, think about it this way. His name is Wally Brando.
Is he really?
Yes.
Okay, so this has got to be modeled off of that then.
How he got the name Brando, I don't know, because I don't think Lucy's name is Brando, and I don't think Andy's name is Brando.
It's Brennan, isn't it? A. Brennan?
That's what something like that. I don't know where this Brando comes from.
Yeah, so he takes his time. He's got confidence that he doesn't deserve. I came to pay my respects to my godfather. It's just all weird, which I hope will be swift.
And there's these long
and painless
paused moments where it's like he's waiting for a response to something something he said that doesn't dignify a response.
Right. And these fine people, my parents, like, thanks for clarifying that. Nobody here knows that those are your parents. Again, this is a 6th grader writing this script.
No, how they got through the scene without busting up laughing,
well, they probably
I could never do it.
Yeah, no, I don't know how I got through the scene without busting my head against the wall.
I love this scene.
It was interesting.
I love so dearly.
I love so dearly. I was looking back to let my parents know.
And this is a very important thing for Truman to know, because this is not something he needs to tell to Truman.
Yeah, this is so
weird. Which is why it's so absurd.
Which is, like, it's funny. The pace just doesn't work for me. I realize it's all deliberate. I get it. It just doesn't... I don't know. I'm not, like, impressed by, they're taking their time. It's like, come on. And I like slow. I like long shots. I like meaningful length. This is just arbitrary. That's why it frustrates me.
I love how slow it is, because when he does it and you can see what he's going to say next, and it kind of spells out how slow it is. He goes, my shadow is always with me, sometimes in front of me, sometimes behind, sometimes to the left, sometimes to the right, but not on cloudy days.
Yeah.
Or at night.
Yeah, which is...
like, come on.
That's somewhat comedic writing. I don't actually hate the writing there. But yeah, he informs the sheriff that he's okay with his parents turning his bedroom into a study, which is fucking... Okay, so...
That could have been done in private or on a phone call.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... And it's Michael Cera. It took me... I mean, he's... Like I was saying earlier, he's a good actor. I like Michael Cera. I don't have any animosity to him. He's just so identifiable as Michael Cera.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's hard to see him in this outfit. And that's part of the joke. It's part of what's funny about it.
And we're supposed to buy that he is like this great wise traveler of the nation who has seen many things and done many things.
Countless times he's crossed the country.
Yes.
From Scranton, or no, not Scranton.
From Alexandria, Virginia to Stockton, California. Yeah. It reminds me of Lewis and his friend Clark.
Right. Yeah,
that
was
first
funny.
Caucasians to see this part of it.
And he said Caucasians.
Caucasian,
he said it in a funny way.
Yeah.
And his friend Clark, the first there is Caucasians to see his brother, while their footsteps have been on the highways and byways. My shadow is always with me. Like, a part of me respects this because there's no... I know it's probably highly edited. You can't question any of David Lynch's choices, but he clearly follows his instincts.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
He makes no apapologies for what he wants to do.
No apologies. I like that about it, though. I like that he just does whatever the fuck he wants. He's not, and that's, guy's had an amazing career, and it works because, he's obviously quite successful, and people fucking think this is brilliant. So, except on cloudy days,
or at night.
Yeah. So, It just went on and on. It was just like, come on.
And then it goes on for a while. It's like, you want me to respond to that? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
May the rose rise up to meet your wheels.
Yeah, he sort of tries to match the over sentimentalized
Yeah.
tone or whatever.
And what? Yeah, that's a lovely turn of phrase. Who says that?
Yeah, it was okay. It's come on.
My dharma is the road. Your dharma.
It's some
silence.
Yeah,
And he just walks
he
away.
just walks off, and that's
So,
it.
was there any symbolism behind what was being said there, or was it purely
God.
just bizarreness?
The road traveling. I mean, maybe he represents everybody's journey in life, like the wayward traveler, the wandering soul.
Right, and when he says your dharma and doesn't finish it and kind of motions to the area around him, is saying that you are a creature of Twin Peaks. You are born and encased in
Yeah.
the lore here. This is your world. You are not to leave here.
Yeah.
This place is, I was born here, but I've left, and this is not my place. This is not my home. Because you could think maybe home is kind of a through line of this whole episode.
It does seem to be the case. Yeah, that's a fair. I like that. I like what you said there. Yeah, home is the motif. Yeah, and your dharma is my Greg.
I kind of saw that coming too.
Yep. No, you didn't. How dare you?
Because
By the way, look, a bird.
I thought of writing that as well when I was taking notes. Dharma and Greg. Because that's the only Dharma I know. The Dharma Initiative from Lost, I could do that one.
Does Dharma... I don't even know what it means. It's
I was going to look it up, then I decided not to, because I was like, Hank's not going to question that.
Of course I'll question it.
Then he questioned it.
Hold on. I'm not going to question you.
And now I'm sad.
Yeah, hey Siri, tell me what Dharma is.
Okay, I found this on the web for yet. Hey Siri, tell me what Dharma is.
She doesn't have anything.
That doesn't work.
Hey Siri, all right. Siri, what's Dharma?
Here is what I found.
Okay, she's got a Wikipedia. Dharma is a key concept with multiple meanings in the Indian religions: Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and Jainism. There is no single word translation for Dharma in Western languages. In Hinduism, Dharma signifies behaviors that are considered to be in accord with RTA, Rata or something, the order that makes life and universe possible and includes duties, rights, laws, conduct, virtues, and right way of living.
Or according to dictionary.com, essential quality or character as of the cosmos or one's own nature. My nature is a traveler. Yours is inherent to Twin Peaks.
But it's not me. Yeah, I'm not in here. You're in the Twin Peaks, Dharma.
I'm trying to get into Twin Peaks.
You're very Dharma.
No,
you're
the people in the comment section, they're in Twin Peaks. I'm trying to get there.
Yeah. Do no Dharm, James. Do
Yes.
no Dharm. Yeah, no, it sounds like being in unity with the true nature, with the world. And okay, I like Dharma. We can all use a little bit of Dharma. Figure out your Dharma, everybody. Let us know in the comments. What's your fucking Dharma? All right, back to now suburban house here. This is the red door. We don't see the door there, but this is Dougie's house.
I see a red door and I want to paint it black.
What? Is that a line from something? Is it...
No colors anywhere. I want to paint it black. I see the girls come out dressed in their summer clothes.
Those are poetry written by James, everybody.
Oh, paint it black. Come on.
What's Paint
Best
It
song
Black?
ever.
By who?
Was it the Rolling Stones?
Oh, who knows the lyrics? The
The
only lyrics I know are something about teens and spirits.
That's Nirvana.
Yeah.
It smells like Teen Spirit.
Yes, thank you. Finally. Okay, so he's murdered Kermit the Frog and made a jacket out.
Pretty much. Dougie had terrible...
Actually, this is several Kermit the Frogs.
Yeah, Dougie had horrible sense of fashion.
Yeah, but Dougie's sitting there. His wife has obviously dressed him in some PJs. Not sure what's going on. And then this guy's kind of like looking around as if he's feeling for something.
Whose
He's
name
reaching-
is?
Grand Boy.
Mark.
What?
Mike.
Mike?
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of?
He's the name of it's the character. The actual person's name is not Mike, but the spirit who inhabits him is named Mike.
Okay, all right.
Is Gerard.
Classic.
Or something like that.
That's what I was going for, Gerard. I was saying Grand Boy, but Gerard's pretty close to Grand Boy.
It's not. I think it's something like Gennaro, Gerard.
Yeah, Gerardo.
Anyway, but I call him
The
Mike, 'cause
Gerudo
that's-
Mountains.
Yes,
Yeah.
Gerudo Mountains. Talking about Zelda.
That's a Zelda
Holy
reference.
crap!
Yeah. So all right, there he is. Nice camera shot, isometric kind of angle down or whatever, if that's even the right word. Corner framed oddly a little, but it's the way it is. And he looks over, and something draws his attention. And
So this is sort of like our speculation when we made our trailer breakdown for Stranger Things, where it seemed as though that because Eleven and because, was it Will, had been to the Upside Down, that they had this inherent connection to it, that they could see things that other people couldn't see. They were in sync with the frequencies of the Upside Down.
yeah.
In this one, it seems to be the kind of the same case, where Coop may be back in physical, corporeal form from the lodge, but he still has a connection to it, such that he can see mic in the lodge.
Yes.
And he says, "You can see me, can't you?" Or something
Yes.
like that.
Yes, and he just, I'm not sure what the dialogue here is exactly, but he gives him something about tricked. What's he saying?
Okay, he says, "You were tricked." And then he holds up that little kernel, which was the very thing that Dougie turned into when he came back into the lodge.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, where did he say? He says, "Now one of you must die."
Right.
So
referring to the doppelganger, or
what this means to me, and this is my theory, and it seems pretty on the nose, so I'm probably wrong, but that the plan that Mr. C had was to sacrifice Dougie, return Dougie back to the lodge in his place so he could remain on the outside. And the rules of the lodge is that only one version of you can exist at a certain time in the reality that we know.
Wait, who's Mr. C is Evil
Mr.
Cooper?
C is Evil Cooper.
Okay.
Remember when he went to the trailer with Otis and the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
kind of guys standing around, they referred to him as Mr. C?
Yeah.
Which could be Mr. Cooper or anything
Sure.
like that, but Evil C,
Doppelganger.
Any one of those works for me. But because he's kind of broken the rules of the lodge through some sort of nefarious plan, there now exists Evil Coop and Good Coop in the same universe.
Yeah.
So to restore balance to the world, he's saying now one of you must die.
So do you think neither? I'm jumping ahead now a little. We're not gonna skip anything, but we find out later that Evil Cooper, is a little bit touched himself now. He's a little bit modified.
It's debatable.
Yeah. But let's just say, for the sake of what I'm saying right now, that he is.
It
that
appears
in
that
order
way.
for either of them to return to full function, one of them has to die. Is that kind of what that means? Like they're almost like there's just not enough of their soul to split across two bodies.
Either that, or just to maintain the balance of the universe itself, one of them must die in order for the rules to be fulfilled and for,
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, the Lodge has rules that we're not fully aware of. I mean, the thing about Lynch stuff, especially Twin Peaks, is that you can learn the inherent facts but in terms of the interpretation of each scene and the interpretation of like the owl ring or the rules of the Lodge or what the Lodge truly is.
The hot dog.
That's, the hot dog that Bill Shaker has. That's all completely up to your individual perception. So if anyone ever comes along and says, you're wrong about a fact, I'm completely willing to admit that I'm wrong about a fact. But if you're wrong about an interpretation...
Yeah, that's why earlier I was like, what? Because
I'm talking about
everything
facts,
feels
not
like interpretation. But facts are like background information.
Yeah.
Like if you called hawk eagle...
Yes, that would be a prime candidate to go into the running for the gift.
But also those simple mistakes that seem fair. Like if I called, Gerudo Gary.
Yes.
Right? It's neither. But I just want to compliment the special effects, by the way. This is pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing stuff here.
That was done by the same team that did Avatar.
Yeah, James Cameron himself did this at the bottom of the Marianas Trench. And
don't count that as a fact, 'cause I'm spinning bullcrap.
James is he's playing with me here with the improv game that we're doing, so that doesn't count. But yeah, this is just a simple opacity, possibly with some blend mode changes, maybe, but I doubt it. It's probably just an opacity. But hey, which is to me a lesson as a wannabe filmmaker myself. You don't have to do anything right. Just fucking do a little bit. It's great. Just tell the story. Keep it interesting. And you'll be fine. No, that's not true at all. That's not how it works. So now one of you must die. You can see the death. It's very in there. And then speaking of death, he's got to pee all of a sudden.
It's almost though is like immediately after that conversation where he's connected to the Lodge and then loses connection again. It's almost like his biological functions kick in because he's been static in the Lodge for 25 years. He hasn't been to the bathroom in all that time.
You don't think there's been any peeing? Maybe there's no need to pee in the Lodge.
There wouldn't be.
But this has also been about 2 days. I mean, he's been...
Yeah, I mean, that's still pretty,
He's Dougie, and then maybe he... Who knows when Dougie last peed? Yeah. Well, he had sex, so he probably... A lot of times
that was before Cooper returned, and this is not Dougie here.
I know, but it's Dougie's... Oh, yeah, it's not Dougie's body.
It's not Dougie's body
That's
at all.
Right. Never mind. Pull all that back. But, so we don't know. You're right. So, but we doubt it. Yeah, so all of a sudden he's got to take a pee.
I was hoping that while he was doing it, he would go, hello!
Yeah, when he whips it out. Yeah. Hello! He pulls the crank down. So, yeah, the wife, she just puts up with this fucking weirdo she's married to all of a sudden.
Well, he came home with a lot of money, so she'll put up with a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I would marry him if gave me that much money. So go potty there, and he gets in there, and this is funny. I wish we could play the video. And he's just like, la, whoa, whoa, whoa. He really shakes it around his whole head. And then he's, which I relate to. You ever had that feeling in the car when you can't piss and you just like, you feel like you're about to explode? We all had that.
You just go straight into the vents.
It's occurred to me.
Yeah, it disappears.
Well, you could just point it at your mouth and just...
Your air conditioner smells terrible afterwards.
Fill up your mouth like a space station. You're just recycling. Yeah, it does make your air conditioner bad. I bought a car once and it was a dog biscuit stuffed into one of the vents. Just like jammed in there.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know what was up that. Luckily, it didn't smell too bad. All right, so...
okay, now this scene, super flashbacky, because if you remember the very final scene of season 2 is Cooper, and he's actually wearing like a very similar shirt at the time.
Okay.
Goes to the mirror, and reflected back at him is the image of Bob.
All right.
And here, it's almost like he's trying to test, is this the real world, or is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.
Mm-hmm. That's
he's just a poor boy.
That's a song by the
Easy
Queen.
Come, Easy
Queen?
Go. Anyway, but it's like
Is
it's almost
it Queen?
Yes.
Yes.
It's like he's trying to test whether or not things are still true. And that to me seems like Cooper's coming back a little bit. He's remembering. He's seeing himself.
Right. Galileo.
Figaro. But and on the flip side, though, would he really have that memory? Because that wasn't him. That was doppelganger Coop.
Oh, okay.
So that's a little bit of a disconnect for me. It's like he's mimicking something that he did before, but it wasn't him when he did it. Which makes me wonder if when he's in the lodge, does he still have some sort of a connection to the body that's moving around as him?
I don't know. I have no idea. So anyway, that's all that we've got out of this one, though, right?
Yeah.
It
was a very deliberate callback to the mirror scene at the end of season 2.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So she's like, "Hey, oh my God, Dougie, you lost weight? What's going on here?" Since you saw...
One other thing is that in the Blu-ray version of Fire Walk with Me, there's a line that said in the area above the convenience store where it says something about the chrome of the Formica table, about the chrome being revealing. And I interpreted that to mean that the chrome, the reflection, reveals us by the fact that a reflection will reveal the entity that's possessing someone, which serves to reason because he looks in the mirror and sees Bob looking back at him.
Okay.
So that's just another throwback to the scene, but...
To the mirror stuff.
Yeah,
so there's something going on mirrors. Mirrors
Yes.
are often used as devices to show characters going deep into their inner reflections or accessing parallel realities.
Yes.
Stargate SG-1, everybody. What? All right, so they lost weight. Oh my God! And she's like, "This jacket's so big on you." So she's like remarking that he's changed. That other suit fit you so well, and like do your own tie. And then she leads into it. And then now we have this little scene with this kid. Even they make the kid act like a freaking weirdo.
Okay. No theory time.
All right.
In the original 2 series, when Cooper is staying at the hotel, the Great Northern Hotel, not Hortel, hotel.
Okay.
I don't know why my brain does that.
Hortel is another word for brothel.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't.
Which
cannot
we
explain
coined.
it.
We coined it.
Yes.
Okay.
But when he's staying there in room 315, there are frequent cases where a very old waiter will come to his room to deliver room service.
Right.
And he would often give no dialogue whatsoever, but would do a thumbs up to him.
Yes.
And that's what the little kid here does. And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that the old man was implied to be inhabited by the spirit of the giant. So I'm wondering if the giant is inhabiting the body of the little boy to keep tabs on Cooper, to look over him, to protect him. Because that's a very prominent time where we see the thumbs up being done.
Okay.
The giant being the guy, Lurch, as you call him.
Lurch, yes. Yeah, well, he played Lurch in the Addams Family.
Yes,
movie.
he did.
Yeah. But, right, so... I don't know. I mean, my sense is I doubt the little kid is inhabited by any spirit.
It's a stretch.
He seems like a pretty normal kid.
Yeah.
He just sort of...
Aside from the fact that his name is Sonny Jim.
Sonny Jim, yeah, that's true. Which is when his mom gets real mad at him, she goes, "Slip into a Sonny Jim." Oh yeah.
And his other brother, Sonny D.
Sonny D, yeah, which is short for Sonny Dick.
And his older brother, Kenny G.
Yes, Kenny G, right? Yeah. But you know what? If you've got sunburn on your penis, life is either going great or real bad. Either you're a billionaire who fell asleep on his yacht, or you're a corpse.
His cousin Heavy D.
Heavy D, yep, or his really healthy cousin Vitamin D.
Yeah.
Speaking of sunburn on your
Or
neck.
if you're British, it's vitamin D.
Vitamin D, aluminium D. Yeah, so there they go. Great flower curtains, and I did like this kind of little movie. He kind of gave the kid a show.
What did you?
Jane
I
E,
interpreted
there's her
that
name.
as though he mimics everything he sees, and in this case, he sees the kid facing him, giving a thumbs up. So not only does he mimic the thumbs up, but he mimics the direction the kid is standing.
Yeah, that's how I read.
Like,
it.
holy, that is
Yeah.
so weird.
It was really weird. She's related to Eazy-E, by the way.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah. Yes, that was peculiar, but it made the kid laugh. I like the kid. The kid's a good sport. I've hung out with kids before, my nephews, not somebody else's fucking family. And they can be a little crazy.
I go to the McDonald's ball pit and I just submerge myself in the balls and just wait for the kids.
Wait for the Band-Aids to trickle down.
Yes, and I just grab their ankle and I won't let go.
Yeah. Let me tell you about Twin Peaks.
Yes.
Want a gift card, kid? Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, that would be me. How come my channel's not growing faster?
I'm keeping your shoe.
Yeah. When we reunite these shoes. So the kid is just there, and he just sort of is like, okay, this is his dad, though. He recognizes him. But
I think the kid kind of knows that something's up with Dougie.
He senses something's weird about old Daddy Dougie, and, he's an
That's
actor.
why I think
But he's
it
got
might
the
be
tie on
the
his-
giant inhabiting him, because a normal kid would see his father acting weird and be like, something's up.
Maybe, yeah, could be. But his father's acting harmless, just strange. He's not acting... Yeah, I get you, though. It could definitely be that. Yeah, so by the way, you notice the matching colors? We got the green, that matches this thing. Also, there's
Matches
apples.
the plate as well, yeah.
Also, there's apples on the thing. Oh, is the plate green, too?
There's something else in the scene that I noticed immediately when he sits down in the chair, and I want to know if you pick up on it as well.
All right, we'll see if I did. I think I probably will. I have no idea.
I'll tell you to stop.
Stop here?
Yeah, stop there.
Oh, what? The
What do you
owl?
know? Owls are not what they seem. What direction is the owl facing?
Right at him?
Right at him.
So maybe will it
He's
rotate?
being watched still.
Ah, okay. What the hell is this thing right here? Is that a juicer? I think it's a juicer. It looks like
Maybe.
a press. You'd
Could be.
grab the handle and push down. They got a lot of devices and stuff. You can't make banana juice. You ever think
can't?
about that? No, yeah, but I suppose you could if you had a juicer. All right, so yeah, so you
You
get
can make
the kid
squirrel juice.
squirrel juice.
Pure testosterone.
That's right. How do you think LeBron James is so good?
Yep.
He drinks 2 squirrels at every meal. But yeah, so he sits right down. Kid kind of shows him, and he's just. This is kind of like he's like kids like weird adults.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I like for kids like me because I'm a kook, and I talk to them like they're humans, which kids appreciate. So his wife brings. She's not really paying much close attention. She's just sort of like feeding these guys.
Yeah,
Little
she doesn't even
syrup.
notice the tie that he's put across
Yeah,
his
she
head.
makes no remark on that. She's a little distracted. But it's a big production here just for some fucking breakfast. My God, what do you love your family? That's ridiculous. Look, I heart mom. She's into that. Good mug. I wish I had that mug. And grabs an apple, probably for herself. Kid puts some syrup on his plate. Shows him how to eat. So, the poor guy can barely do it. Just coffee now. Now, there's a lot of importance to the coffee, correct?
Yes, and I want to show you a screenshot from the first 2 seasons, which gives you an idea of Cooper's love of coffee. Will you
right.
read this aloud?
You know this. He goes, this is, excuse me,
And put emphasis on this last line.
a damn fine cup of coffee.
Yes. Cooper is a coffee connoisseur. It's
Right.
nothing in the world he loves more than a good slice of cherry pie and coffee.
All right, that's proven repeatedly. He's just nuts about coffee.
Repeatedly, it is a meme for Twin Peaks.
Yeah. So here he is. It's like a drug, though. I mean, it is a drug. It's caffeine. It's a drug. And he sees it, and he goes, oh God. And he sort of immediately takes to it, goes for it. By the way, if that's hot, that could really hurt. And
it is, but this got me really excited seeing it because it's like he reacted to the coffee. It's like a little piece of the old Coop, something that is that strongly linked to the core of his character, awakens in him, and he sees it.
yeah.
And when he sees it, and gets hit by the heat of it,
Yeah.
what does he say?
I don't have it on there. Sorry.
Yeah, you did.
I did?
You did.
Oh, hi? Is that it?
Who has said hi to him?
Nobody?
Exactly.
So he finally says okay. Good
Because
call.
he's only been repeating things up until that point.
Right. Hi. Yeah, maybe he's high. Maybe he's fucked up on the caffeine.
That makes me wonder
No, I'm
if
joking.
if the coffee was what awakened him.
Yeah, it seems okay.
He
so
might be back now.
fully back or starting to trickle or starting
He
to
might
build
start being Cooper again
a little
now.
bit more. Yeah, we'll see. It's interesting.
And that when I saw that, I was like, "Holy crap!"
he wasn't just
finally.
woo, yeah, baby. I got a hot wife. I got lots of money. I got a kid. I got soup. I got oranges. I don't know about soup. He's got syrup. Yeah.
And as always, the owl is watching.
The owl is watching right behind his head. And if this actor, when he dies, you know how it's like in memoriam? I hope this is the photo they use in his in memoriam. And I hope he doesn't die soon. I'm just saying, like, when he's like older guy.
And there's the log lady when she's much younger. I'm showing you a picture of my iPad.
James is showing me stuff on his iPad.
Which
nice.
Doesn't translate
I didn't
very
want to see
well.
your dick. Ooh.
Yes, which does not translate very well to a YouTube video, but I'm just trying to paint a picture as to how important Coffee and Cherry Pie is to their original series.
Got it. Totally. As totally should be to every filmmaker's movies and stuff and shows. Okay, now we cut to the end on this shot, so that's obviously a key moment.
Yes.
Military authorization required. Something is going on. They found a match.
So they've run prints on the John Doe. By the John Doe, I can only assume is the decapitated male body that was in the bed of Ruth Davenport.
Safe bet, yeah.
And they're saying that the identity has been found, but it's blocked from them by military access.
Right.
So this is an important person.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, could this be the body of Major Garland Briggs? But no, he died too long ago and in a fire, so that wouldn't really make any sense.
Yeah, it was like a hairy, heavier set guy.
Well, Garland Briggs is heavy set.
Well, I'm saying just...
But the timing doesn't work out, and the the means in which he died doesn't work out.
Yeah.
The time, just... No, that can't be it.
Yeah. So somewhere out there is a bearded head. Maybe not bearded, but a fat guy's head. All right.
Wait a minute. What floats away in the jail cell?
Yeah, but that guy was all charred up, though. The body wasn't charred up in the
Major
bed.
Garland died in a fire, though.
So he could
doesn't mean no, that doesn't.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
Grasping at straws. Moving on.
Put those straws down, James.
Yep.
Quit grasping. Does grasping mean you have a hold of it, or you're trying to grab something?
You can
grasp onto something.
Yes, you can be grasping. Can be either the motion of reaching towards something or physically having grabbed.
Right. It can be a futile effort, or you can successfully grasp.
That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Like,
what the fuck?
I am grasping at you. I am grasped on you.
What a world. What a crazy world. Thank you. I don't know why I said thank you. What am I doing? All right, so then these fellas are out here. This is Miguel Ferrer.
Did you know the woman in the middle is actually the lead singer of a jazz band?
No, I did not know
She
that.
is.
Oh, interesting.
Probably how David Lynch got, word of her.
I want to put you on my credits. You're better than that. You're going to be an actor. We're going to objectify you constantly during the taping on film. So they come in, and she has a very hippie walk. I don't know if they made a point of this.
They do objectify her quite a bit.
Quite a bit. And I'm sure she was told to accentuate her sensuality, her model walk.
Yeah, she's almost walking as though there's an earthquake going on.
Yeah. Everybody during an earthquake looks like a runway model.
Yeah.
Their legs are going crisscrossing. They're tripping on high heels. I was thinking in the shower I was naked, and I was like, man, what if an earthquake happened and I'd have to go be naked under my desk? Because that's my plan, is to hide under the desk until it stops.
That's why I keep a change of clothes everywhere in my room. Yeah. I leave it all over the floor for that express purpose.
That's why I keep black cardboard cutouts, so I can cover up my nipples in case there's censorship.
I just keep knives everywhere so I can cut off anything I'm ashamed of.
Oh, good. That sounds totally healthy.
Yep.
That's exactly the right response to shame. Great culture we got here. All right, so they get into the car. Off they go. Anything about the license plate, James? I don't think so. US
Not
government.
that I noticed. I was writing down as many numbers as I could this episode, but nothing seemed to resonate with anything that I'd seen before.
If anybody knows, let us know in the comments. So yeah, we get in. Off we go. Official car. So now we're driving.
As you pointed out,
They're in some sort of surround room simulator thing. I would bet they actually flipped it around. I doubt it's 360. Maybe it is. What the fuck do I know? They have all kinds of stuff these days. But yeah, like the way the scenery in the background, but there's also a moment where the guy swerves and it looks really shitty.
This part was absolutely hilarious to me. Everything about the scene was probably my favorite part of the entire series so far.
Oh my god.
We're not anywhere near Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, so
so I brought a picture for you. There they are, Albert.
It made no sense. Oh boy, like
and what's the next line?
If I talk to somebody, faces of stone.
Was it just faces of stones, or was it giant faces of stones?
Something like that. Just faces of death. I don't know. It's just
faces of stone is what it was.
These people are. They need help. They need like special educators.
Yeah,
it's
just so absurd. It's like, oh, we're in South Dakota. You wanted to see Mount Rushmore. You can't see it from this highway, so I prepared for that contingency by bringing a picture of it, which I assume would be comparable to seeing the real thing. And as I guessed, yes, it is comparable for you.
They're investigators for the FBI fucking eye. they usually hire intelligent people for those jobs. I actually met a girl who was an FBI agent. She was just getting hired. And she was a friend of my girlfriend at the time. And she told me all this crazy shit. You have to jump through so many hoops to become an FBI agent.
I'll tell you something else.
It's amazing. I mean, I was like, wow. I thought I had to do a lot when I became a caddy.
I've also met someone who worked for the FBI in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles?
Yes.
Yeah?
And she was the dumbest person I've ever met in my life.
Really? You've met me.
She was...
Dumber than me?
Dumber than some people that I've met in the backwoods rural state of Virginia.
Dumber than Lucy?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really, James? No, I believe you. I'm not. There's no reason to. Okay, so they cancels each other out. I met one person, a woman. You met a woman? FBI? Mm-hmm. Middle of the road. No, I'm just saying they choose mostly smart people.
Yeah,
aside from the one they sent to you.
This was a workplace training exercise where the FBI came in to warn us and to train us about the risks of cybersecurity. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the presentation, first of all, she put her credentials up on the screen and she spelled her job title wrong.
Oh, really?
And then at the end, she said, "Now you are all trained and verified in cyber."
Well, that sounds pretty
Cyber
hot.
is not a noun.
What is now?
She is in charge of cybersecurity at the FBI, and she said that cyber was a noun.
Cyber's a noun. You can have cyber with somebody.
Cyber is an adjective.
Age, sex, location, James.
Cyber is an adjective.
To cyber. It's a verb. It's a noun.
It's a verb in the internet slang, but in every other usage, it's an adjective. So it can be an adjective, it can be a verb, but it can never be a noun.
Of course it can.
Give me an example of cyber as a noun.
The FBI woman used it as a noun.
I will strangle you.
That's how language evolves. We're allowed to manipulate it. It's called freedom. Fuckface. Look it up.
Use it in a sentence as a noun right now.
Okay, so we're having a lot of difficulty with cyber these days because it's a shorthand for cybersecurity. Therefore, in certain industries, they develop their own lexicon that is shorthand for certain ways of talking, for ways that make sense in lots of industries. Sailing, for instance, has all kinds of lingo and dialogue and words that are unique to that subset, to that subculture.
In the words of our glorious leader, wrong.
That's the case of lots of different subsets. I'm not saying I agree that it should be a noun. I actually don't. It's a weird noun.
I actually looked it up on dictionary.com after having that meeting and confirmed it was an adjective.
Have they ever updated dictionary.com?
Yes.
Have they ever added new words?
Constantly.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
You might be right one of these days, but today you are wrong.
Fair enough. I get it. I'm only arguing with you because it's more entertaining for me.
Anyway, moving on.
I like your passion, though.
Yes.
I'd like to subscribe to your newsletter.
Yes.
All right, so faces of stone. Okay, you dimwits. Just fucking work on your fucking mission here.
And I love this part, too. This is not David Lynch saying it. It's, you can do his voice better.
Agent Preston gets carsick.
And he hears carsick and thinks he says Cossack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Cossacks are in Russia.
And then he screams, Carsick!
Yeah, that's
which
right.
causes the word simulator to start going crazy.
Yeah, so this is the part where the guy does it. And you could, it really was pronounced on this side of the screen. I could see, like, flickering. It kind of looked like it was, like stepping up frame, or I don't know what the right word is for that. But, yeah, so he's on the other side of the road here. Yeah, it was just nuts.
I'm sure it was intentional, too, the cheesy simulator effects.
Yeah. It's totally fine. I mean, they just did an opacity reduction on two shots for the other thing. So they're told, do you need to pull over? Oh, boy. So everything's fine. Up on the wrong side of bed this morning, Albert. And there they go. They get into the prison. They're finally I think we're at like 3 hours. This one's going on.
I know. We're getting there. We're
making our way. Nobody's got red on his face. James, theory time. He is our stoplight.
Yes.
Stop. No, I don't think. It's just light reflection off there. Yes. So it's camera, actually. It's sunlight bouncing off the car, hitting the camera lens, I'm guessing. That's what caused that. So anyway, there they go. And she's, her butt is going boop, 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 boop. It doesn't look like it in these screenshots, but it is. And they will make a point to show that later. All right, so... okay, we found him after his car went off the road. So now we're talking about Cooper.
They're at the South Dakota federal prison. They're going to meet with Mr. C, Evil Cooper, who they believe to be the estranged Agent Dale Cooper.
Just another dialogue that sums up the reaction to the show. So
they're saying that they found him in the car. They're analyzing his vomit. He was apparently vomiting up something that they considered to be poison. A highway patrolman that we saw who approached the vehicle is now hospitalized from having contact with his vomit.
Yep.
And now they searched his trunk. They found cocaine, a machine gun, a dog leg.
Any explanation about the dog leg?
It's almost as though David Lynch was like, okay, we have cocaine, we have a machine gun. How can I be as bizarre as possible? Dog leg.
Why not?
When have you ever seen a dog leg by itself before?
Golf courses.
I've never seen a dog leg like that.
Yeah, they call courses big holes that have a turn on them, dog legs.
I didn't know that.
Well, this is yeah. So because of their elbows.
I've never been fancy enough to go on a golf course.
What? You fucking poor loser.
I know.
Right? I was a caddy. That's why I'm not sure. I was also a poor loser, James. Don't worry. That's why we're such good friends. I felt a little bit of emotion and affection towards you. I didn't like it at all. Yeah. So. Dog leg, I don't know. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, yeah. I like this kind of random stuff. This kind of was kind of funny. And they didn't overdo it. They could have kept going. Squirrel leg. Bunny leg.
I mean, they could have brought out Michael J. Anderson in a bunny suit to slowly dance and gyrate in the corner while the lights turned down to red and a disco ball came down and a girl with cream corn rubbed all in her face comes through and says, "My world is not good."
My thoughts exactly. Yeah. Well done. I'm going to animate that. No, I'm not going to say. And then, okay, there's his face. And his hair, his evil hair. With his
and I looked at this for a long time trying to see if any of the numbers in this screenshot would essentially mean anything, and I'm not seeing it.
It's from Philadelphia, 1000 Appleton Street, 617 Bend Drive, or Harrisburg, PA. Dale Cooper, USA. All right, yeah, number 75425.
I learned that I'm taller than Dale Cooper, as are you.
As are, yeah. What is he, 70?
He's 6 foot.
6 foot would be 72 inches, right?
Well, it says he's 6 feet right there.
Oh, where? Here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 6 foot. But 72 inches is 6 foot.
Wait a minute. Holy
Am
crap.
I doing the math wrong? I mean, if his head here is, it's about there.
1 foot is 12 inches.
Yes.
So 6 times 12 is?
5 times 12 is 60.
Yes.
Yeah,
so 72 would be... Yeah, that is
So he's
messed up.
6'3".
What the heck?
This is a tall guy. That's about my height. He
So
might
why
be
would
a
they
hair
think that
taller
actually
than me.
is Dale Cooper then?
Well, I mean,
That's actually kind of an interesting
I
thing
lie.
because...
I lie on my driver's license thing. I
but
tell
if
them
you
I'm
think about it,
140 pounds. I'm actually 220.
Right, but they mentioned that the doppelganger, when Cooper came back, Dougie was actually bigger than Dale Cooper was in terms of weight. Because he says that this coat is like 2 sizes too big for you, but your tailored suit fit perfectly.
Yeah.
And now looking at this, we see Evil Coop is actually taller than Coop was, because this is Coop's recorded information, and this is the Evil Coop's actual height. You're onto something.
Yeah. Or they let him keep his boots on. I'm not.
You know something else that you're
Don't give me any
onto?
credit.
That someone in the credits gave you credit for? I don't know if you saw this, though. And
What?
when I say credits, in the comments.
Comments. Yeah.
When we saw the corpses of Sam and Tracy, the ones who were watching the glass box,
Oh yeah.
you made a comment because their heads were kind of like eaten through and you could see they almost looked hollow. You were like, oh, they look like chocolate bunnies.
Oh well, yeah.
And I dismissed it entirely. It's like, oh, that's just Hank being Hank. Let's get through this.
Saying stupid nonsense.
But
Yeah.
you're totally right. Is it about the bunny?
What are you
It's
talking-
not about the bunny.
Is that
Is it about the bunny?
Are you casting a spell on me right now? I don't know what the hell's
Hawk,
going on.
in the conference room.
Oh, the
with
bunny.
Lucy. They looked like chocolate bunnies. What do you go for first? You bite the head off. Chocolate bunnies are hollow.
Well.
And the
They-
woman who
a lot
had
of
her
them are.
eyes covered in that room,
Yeah.
was she in the transition phases of becoming one of those white monsters
White monsters.
that did that to Sam and Tracy?
Oh yeah. I think I know what that. Oh my god, my head. I feel like my head. I
Oh,
wish
okay.
my head was hollow.
Okay,
right
let's
now.
just move on.
Well, let me just say this.
But you made a good point. I ignored it at the time, but I
No.
fully stand behind it now. I like that observation. That was good.
That's nice of you to say in those terms, and to the commenter who gave me credit, if that's how it went down, thank you. However, I don't deserve any fucking credit. I just say stupid shit because I'm thinking about dumb stuff, and I'm vainly attempting to be funny because I need people to laugh in order to fill the validation deficit that has defined me since the terrible childhood I had.
I'll take a laugh,
That's all I
or
need.
someone to call me a d-bag. I'm okay. with
D-bag's
that.
fine.
That's fine. I've never been called that before, but now I can say I have.
Well, people coming on and insulting us is a sign that the people they're getting views, because we're going to reach new people,
Yeah.
and we're doing a comedic version of this thing.
I'm just trying to be accurate.
You're funny. I know. I'm the one that pushes the comedic stuff, but it's very subjective, and it means it's like music. Like, I'm not going to expect 100% of people to take to my version of what I think is funny. And what are you doing? You moving your arm? Are you getting cold?
No.
James is wiggling his arm around.
Yeah, I'm just moving my arm just to make my arm move.
I feel like your arm's about to fall off and you're about to start.
It's like the
Fair
slot
enough.
machine lever.
Okay.
I'm a one-arm
So anyway,
bandit.
I don't deserve credit is what my point is. Don't give me any. I will take credit if I think I deserve it. I'm just saying in that case, I was just saying some stupid nonsense. Ugh, look at that face. Okay, so all right, fine. We're gonna go talk to him. Let's see what happens here. We'll be down the hall if you need us. And Murphy, okay, door opens, door closes. It's slowly, and there he is, all intense looking. That's him, and he gives a thumbs up, James, just like before.
Which seems odd because Agent Cooper just learned how to do that.
Yes.
So it makes me wonder if they share some sort of commonality there.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, maybe that is the case. Yeah. What's the giant gave the thumbs up, and the kid.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. So this is true. I missed our good time. So
But the weird thing to me is that the entire time that Mr. C is talking, his voice to me sounds deliberately slow, methodical, almost as though he's reading from something, and deeper than I remember it being. And I don't know if that's a function of the fact that he's in a room with an echo, or that it's being translated through an intercom.
Yeah.
But it does not sound right. It sounds slowed down, as though he has changed since his been able to avert his pulling back into the Black Lodge.
And it would make sense that he's modified by that experience.
Yeah,
he barfed up the
Garbosia.
the Cavalia corn.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder, though, if he is playing a part to try and emulate the true Cooper as much as he can in front of this guy, or if he is truly changed as a result of what he went through.
Yeah. Well, and he's devious enough to do that, too.
But the fact that I think that he has changed in a bit is that he references that where he's been is, he says, I've been working with Philip Jeffries. Mm-hmm. Philip Jeffrey, as I now know, didn't previously know, was the FBI agent portrayed in the film Fire Walk With Me by David Bowie, who I think was in Buenos Aires, then teleported to the police station, briefly spoke with the agents, and then vanished and teleported back to Buenos Aires, who traveled by means of electricity and conduits and all that kind of stuff, who was... I believe he went to the convenience store and had a meeting upstairs and somehow attuned himself into that world and somewhat lost his mind.
Wow. Okay.
Something bizarre.
Yes.
And he says that he's working with Philip Jeffries. And he was undercover.
So Philip Jeffries is still running about.
There is a lot of mystery surrounding Philip Jeffries, whether he's still around, what happened to him, how he came to be connected with the convenience store, what his abilities are, what his story is, and whether or not he was the voice on the other side of the call in episode 2, I believe it was.
Right. Okay. Got it. Cool. And, all right. So, yeah, and there's some...
and he tells the story. I was going to bring you this information when my car veered over the road and I lost control.
Oops, went too fast. Yeah.
And he uses that same exact sentence later on and repeats himself.
Right. He kind of doubles back and just sort of says it
as
again.
though he's slowly, deliberately following a written narrative to convince someone to get him out of this place.
But he was pretty dead-eyed, like in this shot.
Yeah.
I really think he's changed a little, though.
It's possible.
That's what I would bet on. I can't say with 100% confidence, but it seems for sure that he's changed.
Yeah, I mean, something is clearly wrong with him, and he says that he's left messages so Philip Jeffries will know it's safe.
Yeah.
So not only can we tell that there's something drastically wrong with him, but Cole knows Cooper enough to know that something is up.
Yes.
So he says, when are you going to get me out of here? And Cole immediately says, these fine people have sufficient cause to hold you for now.
Yeah.
He could get him out if he wanted to, but he doesn't want him out.
Right. He could probably pull enough rank.
Yeah. But he is suspicious. He's suspicious of who this person really is and what's happening.
Yeah. To bring you back home for our talk.
Yeah.
To find out where you've been, because they haven't seen him in like
25 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay. See you soon, old friend. Yeah, he's talking to his penis.
And then he smiles with a creepy smile and gives a thumbs up again.
Right. Chain rattle. Yeah. And they close it, and he doesn't lower it. Okay. And then there they are, without fun. I don't remember what they're saying. So,
he says, I assume you'll give him his private phone call, and afterwards tell me all about it. So private should have been in air quotes. Basically say, give him his private phone call, but record the whole thing, and when it's over, let me know who he talked to.
Did you think literally record, or just like listen in on
either way, just
make
him aware of what this private call was about.
This is what I'm saying. We can only hold him for 2 more days without charges.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Okay, so and then this choice to light this scene was
Yeah,
interesting.
it's bluish, dark.
Yeah,
time of day.
like you could accomplish this quite easily with editing, but I don't know enough about camera and filmmaking, real productions. That did they do something with the camera to pull the light in the thing like that? I could make almost any shot look like this with just some sort of simple
Or you could just put like a gel over the light.
Lumetri
and
color
you get that immediately.
settings. Yeah, there's ways of doing that too. But I mean, like the sky back there, everything is sort of blued out. Like I could easily turn shit blue.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud. I've actually been doing a lot of color correction for some freelance editing.
I mean, this would be just like sliding a slider like 2 inches to the right,
Yeah.
and you're done.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Just about. Yeah. There's all kinds of ways to change the colors and stuff. So anyway, all right. You feeling all right, Albert? And they kind of don't. And he says you're wearing a wire.
Before that, she says something important. She basically says that no, he said that he was on his way to Philadelphia to present this evidence to us, but he wasn't going to Philadelphia. He was headed west.
Yeah. So they know he's lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And right. Good point. And so the whole wire thing, she's like, you told me to,
David
dummy.
Lynch's character has a detector to say, you're wearing a wire.
Yeah.
He's like, she was supposed to be wearing a wire.
Is that how they do it anyway? Would you wear a wire? If you're like another... Wouldn't you just have a recording device that's like in your pocket or something? Or on the desk? So they make her leave, basically. Like, oh,
because he wants to have a private conversation with Albert.
Well, also, not only that...
And to watch her leave.
They want to watch her tushy work back and forth. And this is objectification.
Yeah.
And I'm jealous. I would love it if someone admired my butt. I have a mushy tushy, and I want to make it better with squats. And yeah, so there you go. She really does sell. This is that model walk we're talking about. She's just going boop, 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 boop. That butt is moving from one time zone to the next. And they stare at it, and he's like, you better now? And he's like, I'm better. Yeah, he goes, I'm feeling better now. You know, with all that hot piece of ass. Yeah, check it out.
He's not feeling better right now because he's dead.
Because he's dead. Miguel Ferrero's dead. He's up in heaven checking out butts.
He's trapped in the Black Lodge.
Yeah, he's sitting in a chair.
Speaking backwards. Not the waiting room.
Talking to a guy with one arm and a fucking Christmas tree that has a brain attached to the top of it. Yeah, but anyway, she's a very attractive lady, and they're objectifying her, and that's fine.
She's got nothing on that Denise character.
What? Denise?
Denise is way better.
Oh, yeah. David Duchovny doing this walk? Oh, look out. James. Oh, is that Gallagher in the audience, or am I going to shoot some... What? I don't know. Pull up the plastic over your head, because it's going to start to rain.
Gallagher would be on stage, not in the audience.
I don't
he'd be
care.
smashing the
I don't care. Gallagher's a fucking kook.
How dare you?
Gallagher's a maniac. He's a hilarious maniac, though. He's such an old crank that it's funny.
So this answers the question that we asked in the prior episode about what that thing on his shirt was. I should have remembered from a previous episode that directly connects to his hearing aid. So he's cranking it up because he wants to speak in private with Albert.
Yeah, meaning whisper so I can hear you?
Yes. So that no one else can hear us.
Yeah, I can't tell you. Sorry.
And she had a wire on, so he didn't want her present because she would be recording this.
Right. So they need to hear this. Yeah.
So Albert says that many years ago, he received a phone call out of the blue from Philip Jeffries, who at that point in time had been missing for many, 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 many years.
Right.
And he assumed he was deep undercover. But he said that Cooper urgently needs some information. And he believed Cooper's life to be in danger, so he authorized Philip by giving Philip information to pass over to Cooper.
Yes.
And that he never spoke directly to Cooper, but the information that Jeffries wanted to protect Cooper was a contact of one of their FBI undercover agents in Colombia.
Right. Cooper needed this information urgently. Yes. So it turns out that somebody got killed, though. Right?
Yes, and the man who was that agent a week later turned up dead.
Because of Philip Jeffries. Or Cooper.
Yes, depending on, was it really Philip Jeffries over the line? Did Philip Jeffries tell Evil Cooper this? Did Evil Cooper go and kill this guy? For what reason? We don't really know.
Okay. So we don't know. All right. And then his shoes, I missed the shot of his shoes, but he shifts his feet around a little bit.
He shuffles a little bit, and the sound of the gravel picks up by his hearing aid.
Oh, my head.
It's like knives in my brain.
Yeah, right there. Feedback whines. Sounds like this is me. This is me at just pick a restaurant that has a humorous connotation. All right, so on your feet to the concrete. Oh, this whole thing. So he's like, oh, sorry. So he whispers some more. Something's very wrong. But yeah, basically they're setting up the tension between this Cooper guy.
Yeah, This, if you go back
in his connection to Philip.
This is my second favorite line from Lynch. The first one is, "What the hell?"
Yes.
Second one is, "I don't understand the situation at all." And the third one is obviously, "There they are, Albert. Faces of stone."
Faces of stone.
So absurd.
In a photo, too.
Yeah. He asks whether or not you understand the situation to Albert, and Albert basically says, "Blue Rose."
Blue Rose.
And Blue Rose, apparently, when I first watched Fire Walk with Me, FBI agents arrive at, and I think it's an airport, and a woman dressed all in red with a big red Ronald McDonald wig steps out, making weird poses and gesticulations, and she's got a blue rose pinned to her lapel, or to her blouse, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the FBI guy is trying to interpret what's going on. The rookie is, and he asks the other guy, "What did that mean? What did this mean? What did this mean?" And he explains it, and he finally says, "Well, what did the blue rose mean?" And he goes, "I can't tell you that."
Okay.
Classified, basically. A blue rose being FBI code in this series, I don't know if it's in reality, but in this series, for something of otherworldly explanations.
Oh, okay.
Something cosmic and paranormal is going on.
Yes. Okay.
And we missed it entirely in one of the previous episodes, but when Cooper is in is it the mauve room, the purple room, or whatever it was, with the weird woman with the melty eyes.
Oh, yeah.
When he comes back into that room afterwards, there is a vase with a blue rose in it that wasn't there before.
That was by the power outlet thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we still don't have full idea what the blue rose is.
No, and we've got Garland Briggs floating head through space, also saying blue rose.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right.
The blue rose comes up a lot.
Yes. All right. Well, and hopefully we'll learn more about it later. I'm about to fall asleep. So not because of you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
We're like 3 lines away from done.
I know. We're so close. So anyway, I'm right with you. Do you know where she still lives? I know where she drinks.
So he says there's one person in particular that we need to talk to Cooper before we're done with this.
Right.
And I don't know where she lives, but I know where she drinks. And then snap cut to the Bang Bang Bar.
The Bang Bang Bar. Now, obviously, he's going to show up here at the Bang Bang Bar. I mean, they got to do some more with this bar, right? That's where she drinks.
I mean, who they're talking about, I'm not entirely sure.
Do you think it's one of those 4 cougars that were sitting around the table?
It could be.
Making bedroom eyes at James?
I would imagine so.
Who is cool.
Yeah.
So
James has always been cool.
Always very cool. Yeah, he rides a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Nothing cooler than that. Nothing cooler than risky behavior. Okay, so then we got a 3-lady band with they all play keyboards. That's fun. That's an interesting, nice little twist.
That's diversity right there. 3 white women all playing the same instrument, all singing into microphones.
Fans of the Dark Tower series, so that's cool.
Roland. I always called him Roland Delgado, but I know Delgado was Susan Delgado's name, so it's Roland Deschain was his real name.
I don't know.
I always screw that up.
It's the fuck out of me. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. All right, so anyway, lyrics, and this is the end. This is another one of these weird band endings. So that's it. We got to the end. If you want to read the credits, there you go.
Candy Shaker.
Candy Shaker.
That's the wife of Bill Shaker, by the way.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so, oh man, what a slog! This one was. Thanks for all the detail.
Fantastic! It was amazing. It was a thrill a minute. I enjoyed every second of it. All 3 times that I watched it.
Is that true?
I watched it 3 times.
You really love. I mean, all right, that's awesome, and you took amazing notes. James is really defending that $25. I challenge anybody to try.
Well, I'm sure someone's gonna find something.
Yeah, there's gotta be. But in this, that's what the whole thing is. This show is the most confusing thing ever created.
No, it's facts, not speculation.
Other than AC Slater's career.
Yes,
but
Mario Lopez is amazing.
Yeah, no, he is
amazing at sucking.
Come on, those dimples! Come on, are you kidding me?
What
hey Mario, share some for the rest of us. But you're doing a great job. Thanks for being able to articulate all this. I could never explain much less than half of this crap. I could do maybe 2% at most. I could be like, yeah, the lady is confused about the thermostat. Nah. But thank you. I don't know what to say. I'm tired. Any other thoughts? You have a look on your face like you're seeing something here.
I was under the impression that if someone appears in a television episode that they did not act in, that they would receive compensation for it, but they would not receive a residual for it. And you only get residuals in certain things if you appear in the credits. And you only get a credit if you actually appear in physical form in the episode. And I'm seeing Cheryl Lee, Laura Palmer in the credits here, but she only appered as a picture of
that
a
happens.
table.
Photos, I remember reading an article about that.
Really?
Yeah. I don't remember. I do remember reading about they needed, or maybe somebody told me, I don't know. But I remember this coming up. Like someone said that they needed this woman's picture. She was like the murder victim in the first episode, and so they used her photo multiple times during the rest of the other episodes, and she still got credit for that.
But
it's your likeness still appearing in the
But
thing.
it has to be on screen for a certain period of time for it to constitute a clip and to therefore trigger a credit and a residual compensation.
Well, the guy was crying, staring at her picture, and she
passed
appears
that
at the very
threshold.
begining.
Oh, that's right. Her image in the very beginning with that translucency.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Wow, what an interesting thing.
And Philip Gerard right there, that is the person I refer to as Mike, because Mike is the spirit, but Philip Gerard is the character, the shoe salesman that he inhabits.
Yeah. Okay. Played by Al Strobel. All right. Well, good. Thanks, James. Anything else you want to add? You liked it?
Let's talk more about the convenience store and the lore behind the lodge and the owl ring.
I can't.
No, let's call it.
But you're optimistic about the next episode?
I am. I want to see it.
And there's what you said, 18 of these?
They said this is going to be 18 hours long, and an hour per episode. Or the next episode is going to be 15 hours long, or
God,
14 hours long.
What have I done to myself?
You love it, you know it.
I'm interested. I want to know it. I want to be able to see it all. We're not, obviously, we're digging it. And I like your enthusiasm. That's actually what's keeping me afloat here. You're basically you're my Kate Winslet, and I'm Jack. I'm holding on to the frozen side of the door, and you're above the water.
I was afraid you were going to say you want to bang me in a car.
No, but I'd like to draw you naked.
Okay.
So put on this big jewelry, James. Yes. What if I just gave you a chicken? The chicken, rabbit's foot. So anyway, all right, guys, subscribe if you don't mind, if you haven't already done so. And think about our Patreon. We're going to be putting that up real soon. We're asking for money. We don't even have the fucking thing up. We're so stupid. It's so dumb. But other than that, we appreciate everybody's attention. Keep leaving comments. We do read them. We try to respond.
Sometimes we cry after we read them.
Yeah, we cry. They all make us sob with agony and pain. We lash ourselves in guilt and shame. So you have that power over us. And if you do want to see if you can trip up James, I think just the offer to send money is reason enough not to try to get the money. It shows you're such a sweet man. You're an elf with the greatest heart. You could teach all the rest of us a piece of compassion. You deserve to be given money, not be handing out money. I know how hard you work, and I know much effort you put in, and that's my fucking story. All right, that's what I say. All right, everybody, thank you very much. Good night, goodbye, and what the hell? Nah.